Hello again. Right, so first things first, before I chat and I forget to do this. Welcome if you're new. Hello, my hashtag oldies. Oh, we've gained a subscriber. We've gained a subscriber in the time that I've been on a couple hours ago. Right, so I'm putting the details in the chat there, right? So on a Tuesday just now, again, like I said, things are changing, so things might change, but my rough plan is probably when we reach 1,000, which could be ages away from now, or it could be fuck knows. I'm just open for whatever. I'll probably keep the free messages on the Tuesday until then, but the donation link's up there. So again, if anyone ever feels called to donate at any time, it's always appreciated. And it goes towards, new card decks. I mean, not that we fucking need any, I've got hundreds, but do you know what I mean? It helps because really, do you know what I would actually say it's for? It's, this is an interesting message, but I kind of get where they're going with that. I'm so proud in that way. And that I've actually, I always buy my own decks, like the only time I've ever had decks from people is the few people that are always the same few people. Hello, Charlotte being one of them. Hello, Charlotte. The same people that I've ever been called to donate. That's when I've received decks from other people, or maybe now and again some of my other friends that are into stuff like that, or just that know me well. But again, I always buy my own decks. Like I say, all these ones that you see, these really intense ones, like let's have a wee shuffle of this. These are really fucking expensive. Like, I'm not even kidding you. Some of these decks are like ridiculous amounts of money because some of them are shipped from America and that. So again, if anyone ever feels called just for a sake of it, it's more than appreciated. I'm committed to someone else because they don't challenge me. Oh, fuck me. Well, okay, well, there's a wee spanner in the works there. You've just killed the true love bubble. But anyway, I was getting that is someone's now that can be that I do feel that is someone's present situation. For whoever, wait a minute, let's just get another one. So for the present, and then I'll do for past. So what else with that? Whoever that's from, whoever masculine that's from. I pushed you away because I was scared, right? So basically, someone's in a relationship that doesn't challenge them, and they pushed you away because they were scared, and they're sorry for lying to you, probably about the feelings that they've got for you. So maybe somebody actually said like, look, I don't have feelings for you. I've got feelings for someone. It's I don't know. It's something like that. What else? I put. Sorry to laugh, but this is why I'm invested in all these different. I mean, look, it's the same fucking message. I pretended not to love you, but I did, and I still do. That's where it's like, so someone's with someone else. Again, it's all these films I channel. It's the same message. But this is kind of victim mode. Even if we never meet again, you will always hold the key to my heart. Well, I don't know about you, but I certainly wouldn't want to be landed with somebody that was feeling like that about somebody else. You deserve better. Whoever it is, man, woman, divine feminine, divine masculine, not a twin flame at all. If you know that somebody that you're with is deeply in love with someone else and you're trying to keep a hold of them, control them, or you're just settling for that, please don't. Like, go and get counselling, go and get therapy, and know that you're worth more than that. Because that's why people settle in relationships like that. Whether it's the person that's in love with someone else, you don't feel good enough, so you're settling for somebody. That's why you're doing it. The people that stay with somebody even though they know they want to be with someone, it's sad. It happens a lot. It happens a lot with older generations as well, but it happens with any generation. It can be passed down. Ancestral healing. That's what I was saying earlier. But anyway, sorry, I just wanted to get to it. So the reason why I wrote before that fucking killed it. Yeah, and like I said, that could be past, our channel, past, present, future. So that could be past energy too. And they just want me to, if that's past energy, where is that collective of masculines at now? Well, that would kind of make sense because a lot are in regret and actually opening their eyes now to, because again, it's never about that they don't love you on the twin flame. It's that you or they don't love themselves. And when they do the work and they begin to love themselves, they see you crystal clearly, pun intended. And I've just seen a spider, and that's about new beginnings. That's about creative writing. So I feel that's about messages of love coming with those epiphanies. Life is, look at this. Life has been empty without you. I try to distract myself by going out with my friends. And I mean, the next bit with that would be going out with my friends, getting pissed and pulling somebody that I don't care about as much as you. True, isn't it? I should have believed in you. You always had my best interests at heart. Okay, so didn't plan to use them right from the get-go, but the guides had another idea. Oh, for fuck's sake, don't be doing that. We had a big chat about flashing bellies and ass cracks earlier, me and Michelle, and I flashed neither. Oh, for fuck, there we go. It was my hand. I'm sorry for lying to you. So there you go. That's a consistent message here. Somebody has lied to you and they're sorry about that, whether they lied about having feelings for you or they lied about something they've done, or it's something like that. I pushed you away because I was scared. Same messages. So it doesn't matter whether it's past, but it's the same shit coming out. Same shit, different day. And even if, oh no, this one again. So this Scorpio moon and the equinox balance and energies, be careful if you're a divine masculine energy in this place that you're not really falling into the pit of despair, because we've got, even if we never meet again, you will always hold the key to my heart, because that doesn't line up with the energies that the guides want people to move towards of speaking your voice and going for what you want. Because the only reason you wouldn't go for what you want is because people around you have contributed to make you feel like you're not worthy of it, which is horrible. And I miss you more than you realise. That came up with the wee music one that I done. I see you in my dreams. And actually, by the way, I did then look at the words to that song, and the words to that song are fucking beautiful, actually. I mean, I just love all the 50 Shades. I love the 50 Shades of Grey trilogy. 50 Shades. Well, clearly we've got some same-sex couples here or something, because I just said 50 Shades. I just said 50 Shades of Gay. What the fuck? Okay, but I meant 50 Shades of Grey, but that's hilarious. Well, let's get one for the same-sex couples too. I mean, it doesn't matter. It's all, but that's hilarious. I love all those films because I hadn't seen them but when I was off getting my tooth out, that was basically that. Yeah, that consumed my. That consumed me when I was just kind of had no energy, and I could just watch them again and again and again. I fucking love all of them, and I love all the songs, and I mean, again, I'm very Plutonian, and it's very Plutonian right now because it's Scorpio moon, and actually, minus all the dodgy sex shit in that film, that's me and my twin flame, 100%. I don't know what you would say about that, but it really is. I'm not that innocent, but I mean, it is. I'm quite like her, I would say. Right, so I see you in my dreams, right? And I need to heal my own issues first. So anyway, but that song, Helium, by Sia, because I think all the Sia songs feature in most of them, you know what I mean? It's like something about even Superwoman needed Superman or something. It's nicer words than that. Just go and listen to it. It's too high. I can't sing her songs. I just like them. Why is that like that? Oh, it's because it's got cards in it that aren't meant to be in it. Right. Wait a minute. This has only got a few. Do we need one of these cards? These are the ones that I used to bring in the unions. Let love transform. And it's number 14. So the 14th of a month might be significant. The 14th of August might be significant to someone because we've got 14-8 and Cosmic Heart. Yeah, that's what came out there. And Dance of the Divine Feminine. And I'd say, that's what I've been doing all fucking day. All day, every day, usually. But you know what I mean? It goes with the message earlier about being a wild woman. Oh, Coyote's on the top too, so be aware of trickster energy right now. You may be utilising the Coyote medicine to disguise and hide situations that you want to keep private with twin flame unions and everything. Again, that is always my recommendation. It might not even meant to do with your twin flame union. It might just be disguising things from people that you want to keep quiet. You know what I mean? It's wise. And also because Scorpio moon right now, that is secrets. But Coyote medicine can also be trickster energy in not such a nice way. Like people have cast an illusion over your eyes, making you look at somebody else differently than what is actually the reality. Until a seer. I've just been watching The Matrix again. I just watched bits of it, because it was on. It keeps being on the music channel, but it's because it's part of the channelings. The seer. Until a seer, I someone like me or anyone that can do the same thing, is able to tell you the story through the cards and show you the truth, and you'll click when you're meant to, and look, and then you become the Rainbow Warrior. That feels very Hopi prophecy, by the way. I don't know where that came from, but it does mean something. Right, okay, so let me just read what Charlotte's saying. So what I want to do, right, is my throat, because I haven't, I haven't been channeling, and I haven't been for long periods of time, and I haven't been talking even for long periods of time for the majority of, not quite 2 weeks, but just nearly that. From talking earlier, yeah, my voice, it feels a bit tender. So I think realistically I'll be here till 8:30, and I'm just going to set an alarm right now, just so that I even know when it's 8:30, because I've got time blindness. But I really, if I'm not gone by then, I want to, start to get going. So, and watch the one from earlier, because I've got about 20-30 minutes of it left to watch, and it was really powerful messages that were coming through from the Palladians and Lemurians. And like I said, I never used to home in on that, but I have been told by several different people that I'd start homing in on that, and it was just so strong. It was so strong. It's part of the new earth energies that are coming in. It's like, for some reason, maybe some people want to specifically know. I don't know. I don't give a fuck, as long as I know it's coming from unconditional love, and it always is when I'm channeling. So because I do everything to make sure that I'm tapping into the right energies, as everyone should. So, hey, I was just listening to the end of your earlier live. How are you? Yes, so you've got to the end of it. I've not got to the end of it yet. I'm doing great, yes. I hope you are. My parents were married way past what served each of them. Yeah, I mean, it's common, with the older generations, isn't it? And again, it's codependency is rife with, well, everyone, but definitely with the older generations too. And, in a way, it's fucked up, but it's kind of like, I kind of get it too, do you know what I mean? And that's what's difficult about it, regardless of anyone's age. It's, even whether you're a divine masculine energy with a karmic, or, which is a person, a karmic, I don't usually like saying it, doesn't sound nice, but even when it's the end of something, it can still be quite sad to move on from someone. Like, I know even like really painful situations where there's been, just total toxicity and kids involved and everything, you don't fucking like them anymore, but there's still a weird feeling, because you've been used to them. And then you get people playing games where it's like you're away from them, and we hear this all the time, I mean, people playing all these kind of weird mind games and that, and it's just it's anyway, I don't know where all that came from. It'll be relevant to people, but I was listening back by washing up, so didn't see any belly arse crack stuff yet. It didn't happen. I was just, again, so that's it was because they wouldn't do that to me. That'd be fucking cruel. I'd be fucking deleting that shit. If my arse was on the fucking YouTube, I'm drawing the line at that, right? The belly I could handle. I wouldn't have been very happy, but for fuck's sake, no the arse crack. Yeah, it was my hand. So do you know what I mean? I didn't think, how would I manage that to lift the top up? Do you know what I mean? It's just, but it's symbolic of worrying, like worrying for nothing. So whoever that resonates with. So it could be like even the twin flames that, like, the divine masculines are so worried about being rejected, but they're not going to be rejected. Do you know what I mean? Or the divine feminines that need to reach out to tell your divine masculine how you feel, and you think you're going to be rejected, and I don't think you're going to be rejected. You know what I mean? But again, like I said, some of you might be, or you'll perceive to be rejected, but it's not rejected. It can just be a time lapse, that it's like, and then the person comes to you when they're ready after they've processed it. And I'm not talking weeks, that's usually months, hopefully not years, but that's, use your own personal discernment. Right, okay, so Charlotte, would you like a card? Because that's really primarily what I'm going to be doing here. And also, would it be easier to get it now? Is it going to clash with kids' bedtimes and that? Or I was going to use my shamanic deck and do just a wee spread with that. And I kind of just want to keep it simple because I've done all the other intense love. I didn't even think I was going to be using all the intense ones, but it's because it's Scorpio moon, and that is the best time. One of the best times really for me to channel these big intense kind of 50 Shades of Grey type kind of twin flame unions because it's intense. And like I said, I love it when I'm in the mood, but when I'm not, I'm like, no, I so cannot fucking be arsed with that. Right, So until I'm waiting to see what Charlotte says. And again, if anyone else is new here and you're not aware that we do this, as long as you let me know in the chat, I can pull you a card. So, but I only know if you speak up. So see how that's a theme with the things that I've said. How are you ever going to know? How's anyone ever going to know how you feel if you don't tell them? Right, so for Divine Feminine Collective, we have sobriety. Dear God and Archangel Raphael, thank you for adjusting my cravings in helpful directions so that I only desire life-affirming foods and beverages. So that's for Divine Feminines, but this is also Divine Masculine's feminine side. And that really resonates for me right now because I've not had coffee for 2 weeks and I'm planning on just not having it for another 2 weeks. And then I'll probably go back to them. To be honest, yeah, I'm really disciplined, right? So I probably will leave it another 2 weeks, but I would say, yeah, I'd say I'll probably go back to coffee at the very end of the month. So the full moon is on the 29th and I'll probably have my cappuccino again then. But, I just like to detox and I think it's healthy because when we get too addicted to things or bad habits or that, it's time. So like, for instance, like I've just been eating shite really because I couldn't eat solid foods and that in my tooth. And, I literally had a whole tub of chocolate ice cream, like no regrets whatsoever while I was watching the 50 Shades of Grey trilogy. Do you know what I mean? I was fucking loving life. But now it's, we can't be going on like that because, you know what I mean? I just, no, like I need to get back to, I eat relatively healthy anyway, but I don't, I want to, cut out all the sugar and that. And, so anyway, whatever that means to use as well. What's Divine Masculine got and Divine Feminine's Divine Masculine side? They keep pulling me a spider, by the way. So that definitely is creative writing for me. So there's something to do with writing, whether it's messages. Wow, look, fuck's sake, I always pull this for Divine Masculine recovery. Whether it's messages or you're writing things down from your dreams or something like that, or writing your shopping list, fuck knows, writing a book. Dear Archangel Raphael, write your feelings down. Thank you for holding my hand throughout my recovery upon the path of radiant health. So Divine Masculines and Divine Feminines, Divine Masculine side, you're recovering from something, whether that be from being around a toxic, karmic romantic relationship, whether it be healing the toxicity of a trauma from a karmic relationship that you've been out of a while, whether it be something that you're still in and you're fucking trying to get out, you can't recover when you're still in it. I mean, I'm just going to point blank say that, brutal truth. You need to get out of it and then recover, you know what I'm saying? That's like, yeah, what did I say actually? I screenshotted some, I mean, it's one I say all the time, but it was like, something about you can't bleed. If you never heal from what hurt you, you'll bleed on the people who didn't cut you. So that's really good for life in general, but definitely the twin flame journey. Usually the two of you've been in some kind of painful romantic relationship at least some point in your life, even if it was just once. But as other people have been in quite a few, they just go from one to the next kind of thing. And if you don't take the time to heal the trauma from that, yeah, you will. You'll take it out on the twin flame. You'll take it out on the new person. Twin flame, or usually twin flames over here, but and so, you know what I mean? Laughter is the best medicine. Well, I don't know if there's going to be much of that in a Scorpio moon, but dear Archangel Raphael, thank you for reminding me to detach and find the humor and irony within every human drama. And I actually feel I'm a very good example of that because I've been through a lot of darkness in my life, still go through a lot of darkness, and I help other people with that all the time. And like I said, if it wasn't for my fucking amazing sense of humor, fuck knows where I'd be in life. Do you know what I'm saying? So God bless. Thank you for that. Right, what did Charlotte say? So I'd love a card, thank you. I'm about to serve up dinner so I can listen while I'm eating. It's like a spider hotel here at the moment. Oh yeah, and it's like, is this not the kind of time when like the mice, you know what I mean? Like I'm sure, like, you know what I mean? Like I live in a big old flat and it's kind of like I can, yeah, I just can feel it, you know, like that. I'm so sensitive. I'm like, oh my God. And it's like, you know, they've got to go somewhere and hide and it's cold and shit like that. It's like, listen, you know, as long as you fucking stay in the walls, we're all good. Do you know what I mean? But I just know, I feel it. It's not happened for a long, long time. I don't think it's happened for a couple of years. But when it has, fucking shit, I mean, it's just like, oh. But it's what happens. And you just, you know, in these parts of Edinburgh anyway, you just accept that. It's like, oh, fuck. But I don't bother about spiders. That's a wee tiny one. Right, okay, so what deck are we going to like? So Charlotte, I know usually always just say whatever I'm guided to. So or I was using my Fairy Tarot deck earlier, which is quite good if you're kind of wanting a. Well, it's just whatever spirit want you to know, but your guides want you to know. But it's quite good for, like, I don't know, an answer to something. I feel, tarot in general. But I love the wording on these cards. Or I've got my big mixture of the Light Worker Oracle and the Rose Oracle and the whatever else, the Starseed Oracle. I think I got all the names right there. So what are you in the mood for? Yeah, I knew you'd say that, but I don't always like to assume, but I knew you'd say that because you're very like me in that way. It's like I don't I just feel it's good to just let it flow. It's why I always notice that, like, other people who do things, be like, what's your question? What's your question? I never asked that. Like, if I start asking that, I don't know, I've probably been guided to do it. Like, I feel there's a feat, but I just think it's good to just see what flows through. Right. So I feel I want to pull one of these. So what does Charlotte need to know right now? And then I'll do the shamanic cards for the collective, and I'll just pull people's personal messages as and when they come. And when that alarm goes, I'll just get myself off if I've not already been guided to already. Discipline. So what have we got for Charlotte? What does Charlotte need to know right now? What does Charlotte need to know right now? Star family, you're part of a team of souls, call in support. So I think even just quite simply, that's about the fact that this is your soul family, and it's obviously you've got soul family and other different things that you'll do and your own stuff that that you lead and stuff. And it's about, it's about calling in that support from the people that you resonate with at this time. Now, remember, when I'm saying that to Charlotte, that's going to make sense to others as well. And I'm going to use the tarot too. And yeah, trust the niggle. What is the niggling feeling trying to tell you? So that's what I mean by, I'm just going to stick with these two cards just so that we can, they're really getting me to like, just like I noticed it earlier, and like particularly it's like I feel like when I'm going to be doing the live every day, definitely the lunchtime ones, I feel what they're going to make me do for that is just kind of just stick to like one deck and just like focus in on it. And so that's what I'm being guided to do here, is that there's something that you really need to trust your intuition on, and you need to have that, I want to say genuine support with something. Don't know what that's about, but that's where it's like that'll make sense to you, and it's one that we all wonder about. But what else to go with that? Trusting that Charlotte will know what that's about. So it kind of feels like, right, for whether this is for you and for anyone else that's going to resonate, it feels like, if there's any doubt in your mind whatsoever that somebody hasn't got your best interests at heart, then don't get any guidance from them. I mean, it seems like fucking common sense, doesn't it? But that is what I'm hearing. So yeah, the wheel, because your luck is changing. Like, there's good fortune and things coming in for you, and unfortunately, that is when we can self-sabotage. But it's also, that's interesting we're talking about the older generation, because it's almost like that's what it's almost like, when it's like something's coming together for you and somebody pisses on your fire or like dampens your, just be, you're gonna know what that means. I've got a fair idea what I mean. It's just something about, it feels like what I channeled earlier, keeping something a secret, and especially if you feel like somebody could put some sort of negativity on it. Delays are over. Sudden or unexpected good luck, a new car or travel. And 7 of bottom, but have patience. I pulled this in the shorts earlier. Have patience and don't worry. Take the time to rest and plan your next steps. A prudent investment of time or money. Yeah, so I'm going to trust that you know what that's about, but there's something about you've invested a lot of time, energy into something, possibly even money, and things are coming together. This feels like what I don't know if it was in the shorts I've just channeled this. I think it is. For the shorts, like right up until the end of the month, actually. I filmed them right up until the, you know, the 29th. And it was messages all about that if you've ever felt like, you know, just you're not seeing the return on your investment of your energy, it feels like very similar, like, you know, people that have been preparing for the shift or the event or the, you know, the new earth energies. And it's like, I really do think a lot of us are going to start seeing a return on that. So that's exciting. So what I'm being guided to say there is, so people that are still in around you that are very much living in the old energy and worrying about money and the money, and like the money system's about to collapse. I mean, oh, newsflash, do you know what I mean? Oh, I'm going to go fucking viral. No, it's not a fucking, do you know what I'm saying? It's like everybody fucking knows that, right? But like that was coming through up until the ones that I've channeled to the end of the month. There was a real clear message about that in the collective. Yeah, I mean, we'll see, but I specifically, like, it's just, it'll be fucking creepy if it's the date that I said it. But it's like, I really do feel, just if you're getting any kind of insights or further developments to things you've already had stuff going on in your mind about for a long time, just be careful who you get encouragement from. You know, go where you're celebrated, not where you're tolerated, kind of thing. I feel that's a really powerful message for everyone. It does sound exciting, yeah. So yeah, I hope that means something to you. Right, okay. So that's what I mean. I'm not going to spend too long on each person's message, because otherwise I'll burn out. But like I said, sometimes less is more. But I have just shuffled and I've looked at the strength card. The grace and inner strength needed to overcome challenges, the power of kindness and forgiveness, time to embrace how wonderful you are. So that's for you, Charlotte, but it feels very much like that's going to resonate for the whole divine masculine collective there as well. And nobody else is here, so I'm going to do this shamanic spread. So, because this can sometimes take a while, but I'll do people's messages as they come in. Right, so did that bring my, oh no, it's tea. It'll be cold now too. But you see, I can't drink stuff that's too hot because it's healed now. But I'm just I'm very cautious in that way. Do you know what I mean? Like, I didn't want to I'm just going to be really careful about just eating soft foods and all that. Can't be kissing anyone or that either, do you know what I mean? Know that I've been fucking doing that for a very long time, but actually, I could kiss somebody now if I want. So if I want, doesn't mean I'm gonna, so too funny. Right. What have we got here? So let's do it in front of me on the wee thing. So Charlotte, did you see that I found this little guy or girl, whatever it is, on the beach earlier? So this is about the unions manifesting, because our twin flames feel like a unicorn to us. Your twin flame thinks you're a unicorn and you think they're a unicorn, because it's like, where the fuck are they? Does it make believe? No, it's because it's magical. Right, okay, so the card in the south. So this is the card in the south. So this is for the collective. So this will either resonate with you or it won't. Because collective means, you know, sometimes it's going to be yours, sometimes it isn't. So, you know, just, you know, for whoever doesn't know that. Represents that which you need to let go of, what needs to be shed. It is an old wound that you no longer need to define yourself by. I'm actually thinking I better put that over there. See, cautious. Yeah, I'm very cautious. So we've got the luminous warrior in reverse. That makes my life a bit easier because it means I don't need to read the whole thing. The card in the west represents a part of you that needs to die. It is an old story that needs to be let go so that you may find a new and meaningful story for your life. That's where a lot of people are at right now. The rattle in reverse. Oh, we've got a lot of reverse cards. Number 3, the card in the north represents the wisdom that you need to acquire. You've learned the lessons from the south and the west cards. I'm just noticing the synchronicity there of me getting a wisdom tooth removed. Because I did think when they took out, I thought, I wonder if I should have kept that. Like, do you know what I mean? But what are you going to do with it? Keep it in a wee fucking jar somewhere. Hello, Nex. How are you doing? I've missed you too. I've missed all of you. You did what? The R, Charlotte? That's hilarious. No, it's because earlier on the live, Nex, I got up and I had my jammy bottoms on and I was like, did I just flash my arse? And I didn't. It was my hand. So I had my, like, because I was paranoid, I put my hand on my back. So it's all good. That's that's that chat. And before I actually read these, if you want a card, let me know. Otherwise, you can wait until I've done after this. We've got the card in the north represent, yeah. So anyway, that is an interesting one, isn't it? Like wisdom tooth. So why do we take them out? Well, I mean, it was sore. So. But like I said, you know, I did feel a lot of trauma leaving me when I got that tooth. I mean, it was fucking traumatic anyway. It took 2 minutes, like, but, and I know a lot of wisdom tooth removal I know that, right? Because I have had ones removed when I was younger, like seriously, like 10 years ago or something. But that wasn't like the one that was getting removed from me was, it was impacted, like, you know, it was a really challenging one. Do you want to restart to install these updates now or try tonight? It's so like conversational, this, isn't it? Well, what are the options? Try in an hour, try tonight, remind me tomorrow. Remind me tomorrow, I think, because that'll interrupt this. Right. So I've never seen that come up before. That'll mean something to someone, right? So it's like, do you want to do that? Means something. That's hilarious. Are you going to deal with this now? Chakra. I think that's, I know. Are you going to deal with this now? Are you going to tell your twin flame you love them now? Or are you going to deal with that tomorrow? Well, I think we're dealing with that tomorrow because of the decision that I made. So that would be so funny if that was literally real time for someone. But that's what I'm getting from that. But also, I'm heeding the message, right? I'm going to go at 8:30 or I'm going to go before that. So I'm just talking to my guys. Right, okay, so I think I'll do your message and then I'll do this one, right? So I'm just going to pull the other one. So the card in the north represents, I just read that. What wisdom is ready to mature within you? What is your great medicine that you're ready to embrace? What are the deeply buried treasures that have become available to you? Earth, upright. And the card in the east represents your possible destiny, the way that you will share your treasures and gifts with others. The Andean cross reversed. And on the bottom, we have the owl. Oh, and that's amazing because, and it's 39 and I'm 39, Charlotte's 39, and there's lots of other people that are 39 or that you're yet to be 39 or that you were 39 a while ago and reflect on what came up for you at that age. But our medicine is powerful and it's about being able to see in the dark, like clearly see what other people can. And you know, you're probably not surprised because fucking what power animal isn't working with me. But again, because I've been on my shamanic journey, my shamanic healing, you know, for years and years and years, and I went through all the initiations. It never stops when you're doing this work though. Oil medicine was one of the very first medicines that I worked with. And you know, it's really, I'd say I've had that since birth though, but I really deeply worked with it. And it is that ability to just, yeah, see in the dark. Like I can clearly see things when other people can't see. So whether it's in the world, and again, there's lots of things. It's just so, all this stuff just, again, I love it, that psychic detective shaman energy, but it always surprises me when people can't see through some obvious tricks and illusions that are going on, or like false prophets and kind of, you know, false spiritual leaders or false truth bringers and when something's got a set up and it's just, anyway, but yeah, owl medicine is overall. So right, so I think I'll just do the same. Charlotte, your twin flame higher self is saying our love was written in the stars. Okay, I just felt like doing that. And because I was just going to say to Nick, would you like one of these as well? I'm going to pull you one in. I'll pull you one anyway. I'll only show it if you say yes. So why? I was really strongly felt guided to do that. Fucking hell, deep messages. All right. why is it do you know what? I say this every time. Every time I do this for you, right? I feel like, oh, wait a minute, you've just said something about, right, I haven't read all of that, but wait a minute. So I've put the cards in my hand, right? Every time I pull messages, meaning it to be from your twin flame to you, for some reason, I feel like it's you to him. Every time. I don't know why they do that. But oh, wait a minute, I suppose it does make sense, because if you have always appeared to me in that divine masculine, oh yeah, no, it does. Anyway, you can be a decider of that, but you'll see, I mean, that's my feeling, but it's for you to to decide. But yeah, I'm going to go. Yeah, I'm aiming to go at 8:30, but I'll do your cards now. Oh, that's interesting. I was doing my art foundation and reclaiming my passion at that age. Oh my God, that's amazing. Oh, so there's a synchronicity for you. Oh, by the way, see, before I read your messages, I've just realised that's a really powerful message and I didn't explain it. So I've put the title as Divine Feminine. I don't know how you done it, but you brought me back from the dead. Again, how Isis and Osiris is that? Like, hello, very Scorpio moon right now. Because again, that is what Isis is about, soul retrieval. That is everything that I do with people, like for the people that are drawn to me, but also me and my own twin flame. That's what you do, the twin flame journey. But the reason I got that was, oh no, because I couldn't fit in the rest of it. Yeah. Oh, it was better than that. Like, it was basically, I found the end of P.S. I Love You. And she says to his energy, because I wouldn't ruin it if you've not seen it, but she's like, I don't know how you done it, but you brought me back from the dead. Yeah, then I was just about to ruin it for you, but what happens. But most people have seen it, but and then I was going to put in the title, like, P.S. I Love You. Like, so basically that's from the divine masculines that are, that have moved through, well, basically pride and ego, to be able to see that you were helping them, basically. Right. So, but anyway, so right, here's the intense messages I just pulled for you. Right. So, and like I said, bear in mind what I said. I'm so sorry for all the pain I've caused. Even if we never meet again, you will always hold the key to my heart. I'm healing, but it's a work in progress. I was just not mature enough for a love so deep. So what my real sense of that is basically, I feel the cards say it all, but I'm just going to say this generally, but it's yeah, sometimes when we meet somebody and we're, whether it's to do with actual age, which in this case I feel it is, that we're just not mature enough for a love that is that intense and strong. On the twin flame journey, we're given all these different sorts of hurdles, like childhood wounds, and which we've all got, but all, basically it is that kind of feeling of it, just completely not ready for it, and running away from a love, and causing yourself pain. It's just what I say all the time. There's no blame and shame that twin flames should ever really give to one another, and that might be really hard for some people's heads to wrap around, because you're like, but they done this, that, and that time they did actually mean to fucking hurt me. Like, I know they did, which I've not directly experienced too many times, but I don't know why. Next, I don't know if this happened with you and your one at some point, but I don't know why I'm laughing either, because it wasn't fucking funny at the time. But I do remember once being in a club with mine, and he actually looked to see what I was doing first, and then he kissed someone in front of me, and fuck, I think that's the only time that's ever. Oh no, I'm telling a lie. It did happen another night too, in quite a royal fucking times 10 way. Anyway, but I laughed because I just knew what it was all about. Like, I knew what he was up to, kind of thing. But thank God he wasn't doing that with anyway. It's but no, that was more kind of, this one was a bit more time. I just kind of like, it wasn't nice, but I was just like, yeah, you did that. You wanted to see, like, what, you know what I mean? He wanted to see my reaction. And I didn't go mental then. I just walked out and was really upset. And my friends just sort of comforted me. But it's kind of, I have no idea why I just told you that story, but it's going to make sense to someone. And clearly the fact that I laugh, you can tell I'm not holding any kind, and it's so funny because there's definitely other fucking shit that I could say that would be much worse. But you don't throw your twin flame under the bus. Mine might disagree actually with the stuff that I say on here, but I don't think so. Like, I think I do it a classy way, but again, I might be wrong. Fuck knows. We'll find out at some point. But yeah, I really did feel that that was going to land for you in that way. Fuck, that all lands and could be either way. Yeah, it's weird how that happens. You know what I mean? It does just sort of feel like that. That it's like it just was all too intense, and it's like something out of a film, isn't it? Simply, it's kind of like that, almost like running away and seeing if they're going to follow you kind of thing. I suppose actually, maybe that's why I just told that story. I mean, because like this was literally years ago when I was a lot younger. But maybe that's because that actually, if you think about it, like maybe there was a part of me that was like wondering. I knew there's no fucking way would have ran out of the club and chased me, but maybe I would have wanted them to text me and say sorry or something. I've been fucking waiting a long time for that, and that's such that night anyway. But see what I mean? I just laugh because I just understand it all from a higher perspective. Oh my god, I don't know why I'm laughing because I wasn't fucking laughing that night. But it was the fact that my younger, and she's a lot younger than me, my younger friend though was like, clearly he was totally doing that to see whether you were bothered or not. Right, so anyway, moving on. This is the other part of your message. So I'm going to just pull two cards like what I've done for Charlotte, unless I'm guided otherwise. What does Nick need to know about any kind of theme? So get a theme and then we'll do some tarot around it. I always laugh at some of the things they make me say. Right, 3 cards came out. Right, so the breathing rose. You always get the rose card. Again, it's because you're like me. You feel, I know loads of other people too, but I do always pull you. It's like you feel so connected to that Mary Magdalene Rose energy. Is it? Oh, your mum. It's your mum. Hello, mum. Right. So heart healing, emotions, connection, time eases. That heart healing always reminds me, like that is something that when you're doing heart chakra healing as well, that's something that you would say to yeah. I just know that you know what I mean. Like I say, heart healing and that too, but it just feels like something that you would say as well. Heart healing, emotions, connection, time eases. So again, that's making me wonder if like being in this Scorpio moon right now, and especially me knowing where that is in your chart, if you're experiencing some real deep emotions at this time. Who the fuck isn't? But right, I can't even look at this. Look at what you said. And even if you hadn't said anything about your art, look at this. Your life is a canvas. Artist, which Nick says. Manifestation, creative accountability. That's just fucking brilliant. That's just brilliant. Codes of the seeds. The blueprint is within you. Take the next step. I mean, holy shit, that feels like one of the messages I gave earlier. And it feels like the shorts for tomorrow, if it's real time for people, that I said in the shorts for tomorrow, whoever, like someone is basically a divine masculine energy, regardless of gender, stuck in their head, and it's time to take the next step. So for some people, that is going to be the divine masculines that need to tell their divine feminine how they feel. And for other divine masculines, it could be like takes the next step with some kind of work project or something. I've been working on opening my heart even more. Jesus, I've caught the emotions tonight. Wow, there you go. Well, you know what I mean? They're just no secrets around here, ironically, on the moon of secrets. Right, now let's get some tarot around that as well. And what else does Nick need to know? And if anyone else is, well, hello, my course is into its 3rd week now, and it's amazing. Yeah, I gathered that you were really, I don't know, I could just feel that you were really well into that, because I think I remember you saying something about September, and I'd sort of, felt it was about that. So I'm glad you're loving that and getting a lot out of it. Right, so, right. And I mean, isn't that powerful as well, that is about art, and that artist card is just got, that's crazy. Right, so no coincidences around here. What tarot does Nick need? So if anyone else is lurking there, it says there's only 4 people watching, then speak now or forever hold your peace, because like I said, I'm going to get off here at 8:30 if I haven't already called it a day. Right, now this was in reverse. We've got Princess of Autumn, which I just honestly, mind goes blank with these fucking fairy tarot cards. We'll just see what it says. Happy news about, I'm thinking it's the Queen of Pentacles. It must be the Queen of Pentacles, because I think there's a Queen of Autumn. Maybe it's the Page of Pentacles or something. No, maybe it's the Page of Pentacles. Happy, oh my God, look at this. Happy news about your career promotions or scholarships. And isn't what you're doing kind of like, I mean, I don't know if you'd call it a scholarship, but that's the thing that you want, isn't it? That's amazing. Well thought out plans that go perfectly, needing a little push to get going. This is the one that came up for tomorrow. That's fucking crazy. And also it was in reverse. That actually, and Brianna's just said hello again. Hello, Brianna. And that actually might, did I pull that for you, Brianna, earlier? Or no, maybe I didn't, but I pulled it for someone earlier. But yeah, so if you're feeling a bit stuck, that's just being acknowledged right now. But what I get from that is, you know, the way that you can turn that around is by taking any kind of action in the right direction. Fuck it, let's go. I saw a car license plate the other day and it had art in it when I was having an August moment. Oh, that's crazy. I love it. Fark, I reckon scholarship covers it. Yeah, it does, doesn't it? That's weird. Because even it's like scholarship is like, it's a gift. Like it's a gift from spirit, like to, you know, to be given that amazing opportunity. Right. Oh my God, this is about procrastination. Right, this is fucking, I'm not going to overload again. Like, I'm not counting how many cards and pull for different people in that, but I'm not making it really, really long for each person because I feel there's more, it's just better that way. You know, sometimes it's better, and Charlotte's was like that, and I'm keeping yours like that, and I've done Brianna's earlier, and it's kind of like, but there's something about not procrastinating and, you know, just keeping the momentum going. So I feel like Charlotte's message, this is for all divine masculines. It's like, don't stop now, you know. Don't stop me now, having such a good time. So it's like it's something about keeping your energy high and going, taking the next step. Don't fall back into the fear. Because look, 7 of summer, but it's in reverse. No more procrastinating. And what did I keep saying? I kept saying about procrastinating before I pulled the card. No more procrastinating. Your power comes from making a decision. Confusion arises from overanalyzing options, but it's in reverse. So that's amazing. That is like really being focused and not being distracted and not allowing, it feels like Charlotte's message is tying into yours a bit here. There's something about not, so just everyone on the divine masculine side of this really listen, and divine feminines listen too. Don't share things with people that don't get where you're at in your journey right now, whether that's about your twin flame, the love part of it, or the twin flame, your career or your calling, or don't share it with people that don't get it, is what a strong message I'm getting here. Which that's part of what's good about when you're doing courses with other people that are on the same energy or in great, like, you know, it's they get it. As I pulled the 3 of summer, and that's about like celebrating and your reunions and, like, you know what I mean? So this is like, this almost feels like the people that you're doing that course with, do you know what I mean? Or like coming and celebrating, hearing me out. So that's really funny. And that's the same message that Charlotte got. So again, I feel when I extend that message out to the wider Divine Masculine Collective, which I always seem to do in particular when I'm doing yours two's messages, I feel like it happens, well, it probably happens to everyone, but I didn't do it earlier. Maybe I did a little bit actually. It's about like those of you that are really excited about like telling your twin flame how you feel. Avoid the temptation to be like, you know, saying to your friends, "Oh, like I'm going to tell them how I feel," or "I'm going to do it on, you know, Thursday," or "I'm going to do it on," you know, maybe someone has happened something, but you know, it's, you know what I mean? Like, it reminds me of the only. Would I say that? I fucking think it is, by the way. Yeah, because other times I wouldn't class it as a date. You can tell by my face, but the only date, we're just going with a random story. I've said this before, and I remember I said that people were fucking pissing their pants. Remember that day I said I went on, right, and it was like, I can now see that this is some kind of sabotage to me, because it put me off ever going on a fucking date again. And this is all that glitters is not gold. He wasn't a bad guy, but he was just fucking, what's the word for it? A fucking melt? I don't know. That's what a friend of mine in the past would have called it. But he was really, really hot, right? And anyway, like, you know, came out of nowhere and asked me, and I was like, what the fuck was that? Like, this shit never happens to me, right? He was immune to the fuck off on my forehead kind of thing. But this is before I was really in the fields about the twin flame, right? He was in my life, but like, he was, and I was all about him, but I just like, he was like chasing fucking all the options, you know, that card. But basically, if you haven't heard this story, because it's funny. So yeah, so like, you know, he got my number, and I hadn't even finished. I worked in a supermarket at the time, like, you know, I was promoting like drinking that, like champagne and whiskey, but I used to get pissed and then go with my pals after. But anyway, right, so but what was the red flags was the guy texted me before I'd even finished my work. So do you know what I mean? This was lunchtime, he got my number, and I think he texted me like 2 and I thought, I'm Venus and Aries, like, this is not, like, you know what I mean? Fair enough if it's somebody that you're in love with, and like, or your twin flame or something, like, I'll get, like, listen, you couldn't overcrowd me, fucking keep it coming because you held it back that long, do you know what I mean? But if it's something you don't know, and it's like, I was like, this is giving me the ick. So anyway, I should have trusted, because yeah, that I can't even bother telling the rest of the story, but it was a fucking nightmare. And if you've heard it before, you'll know what I mean. But the point isn't why did I get to that? I can't even remember how I randomly started telling that story. Oh yeah, because I was talking about, yeah, it's because before I went on, that wasn't probably wise in that situation. But anyway, I didn't tell anyone. Like, the only person that knew was the older woman that was working at the time, and basically actually all the people in the supermarket, because I was really good pals with them. They were all like really protective of me as well. Like, there was like guys that were there was guys that were a lot younger than me as well that had crushed it, you know what I mean? Like, I knew because people would say in that, and anyway, but it was, whether it was that, like, there was lots of people that were very protective of me. And so they were the only people that knew it, and I didn't tell any of my friends, and I ended up, like, you know, going on this date, and I think I must have been messaging back and forward with them in a work week, because that's not very safe to go on a date with somebody you don't know. But anyway, the whole point of that is I kept it a secret. I do think that was wise, because I was really nervous before, and yeah, and then the rest of it was just a total fucking nightmare. I've told the story before, I'm not telling it again, because I've actually ironically said that the weird dynamic between me and my twin flame was that then the next time I saw him, which was, I think it would be like months later or something, we had some kind of weird, well, you know, it was a weird, you know, we did have a friendship of sorts that I must have trusted him enough to tell him what happened, and I wasn't trying to make him jealous. Like, I don't know why we started talking about that. In a way, I wasn't trying to make him jealous, but I was probably trying to see if he cared. And he really is a good actor, because it seemed like he didn't give a fuck. But like, he gave really good advice too, and I thought, oh, he gives really good advice, but he really doesn't like me anymore. You know what I mean? Because but he just sort of, when I told him, he was like, Claire, how could you not see that guy was trying to? Well, he was just trying, you know what I mean? He just gave it, the guy totally gave me the run around, and I was gullible as fuck. But anyway, so news worth celebrating, announcements such as weddings, graduations, or births, friends you can cherish. So again, I've been pulling this in reverse a lot. So there is a message of, beware of the people you can't trust, but also, and that's why I started randomly going into that big story, that, that's why I always say that about twin flame unions. I mean, that's for a different reason, because there are lots of people that don't want it to happen for you. It's just wise. Just, you know what I mean? Just only tell people that you know are going to be happy for you, about whether it's love, business, whatever, blah, blah, blah. So, but yeah, that's a nice message. Sorry for the stop. Sorry, not sorry, because it's funny, but sorry for the stop gap of the random story. But unity. Do the right thing for the right reason. Compare traditional versus new approaches to see which works for you. A spiritually minded community. And is it not like it's like art, but it's like a spiritual art? That's hilarious. Right. Okay. So yeah. And we've also got the 6 of Cups on the bottom there, reminiscing about a past love. And I think that's why I started your message off with the message from your twin flame. So yeah, in the fields, lots of lovely energy there. Right. So I'm now going to read the collective message. So because I've done Brianna's message earlier. So, but if there's anyone else there, speak up and I'll do you a message. Otherwise, yeah, if nobody else comes on, I might just do this and go, because I did do earlier. So, right, so 32. So this is the card that represents that which you need to let go of. What needs to be shed is an old wound that you no longer need to define yourself by. Are you being tempted by your emotions to follow your lower instincts? Are you being invited to enter into a quarrel with someone? Put your sword away. Oh, this is totally twin flames, isn't it? Oh, hello, my course is definitely a beautiful mix of art and spiritual. That's crazy, isn't it? That's brilliant. You're welcome. Put your sword away. This is not the time for battle. Your enemy is not who you think it is. Oh, see, so again, divine masculine energies in particular, those of you that might still be questioning whether your twin flame is trustworthy, keeping in mind that it just feels ridiculous to even say that, because your twin flame is you. Nobody will have your back more than your twin flame, divine feminine. And then eventually divine masculine will have your back in the way that you've had their back. But that's the thing, they actually have had your back, right? And it's like, oh, that's all the miscommunication and all that that goes on. It's all part of the journey. But I mean in the sense of the ones, the divine masculine energies that actually that, yeah, it makes sense with some of the stories that I've been telling. You know, the divine masculine energies that have done shady things like that, which will be why I even gave that example of when I'd done that. Oh, like I say, I'm pretty sure there's worse than fucking that mild thing, but it's like when they wake up from the karmic behavior that they've been in towards you and towards other people, they're a completely different person. Like, it's just think of you, if you went through your dark night, so you're a completely different person after you go through that, and you're given a second chance. So, but this is talking about being tempted by lower energies. It's talking about being ready for battle. So my feeling on that would be, don't be going into communication with your twin flame divine masculines, you know, being really defensive and ready to draw your sword, because that's not, divine feminines are not interested in any kind of bullshit, basically. And you can tell, yes, I'm directly channeling that with my own feelings. Your enemy is not who you think it is. Do not act from a place of anger that will damage your relationships and hurt the ones you care for, especially if that's already been done in the past. Find the truth hiding in your heart that will affirm your instinct for peace rather than for war. And I love it, because we're in the week building up to the battle of the light and the dark, the balance of the light and the dark. Make sure that you don't fall at the last hurdle. And so I must be saying this to someone for a reason. Make sure that you don't fall at the last hurdle and lash out at the wrong person, or let the energies settle, basically. And because there's a lot of energy like supporting twin flames, meeting for peaceful reconciliations and just conversations and all this kind of stuff. So how big is the sword? Michelle, I could sense your what's the word for the analogy? Why can't I speak today? Am I just merging in the telepathy and I'm losing words altogether? Anyway, oh my god, undercover 2 times in 1 day from the Matrix. Hello. Put your sword away. Oh my god, I see. Right, I see where we're going here, and it's Clairvoyant Scorpio moon, which is about sex and sexual innuendos and all this shit. So we've got Brianna saying, "Put your sword away," and she said at that, and we've got Michelle saying, I can't actually breathe. Oh my god. And see, because they've just made me do that, I'm looking up at Have Courage. I'm not shitting you. You can't see it, but look, I'll do this. It'll be backwards though. Because it went further on. Sorry, I've got a fucking stitch. Oh, for fuck's sake, how far do we need to? Yeah, look, you see it. It says have courage. And that one says live what you love. And the other one says good friends lift you up when you forget how to fly. Fucking hell, I remembered it for once. But whenever I get pulled to that, because it's really tiny, I always feel that's like people's friends in the spirit world or guides, like, but I feel it's specifically a friend supporting you to where you want to go. So anyway, keep it clean around here, guys, for fuck's sake. But anyway, so it's funny, and it's clearly that it's our collective, just like a wee laugh. Right, okay, so where was I? Did I even start with any of this? I'm completely lost here. What was I? No, so I've read, right, I don't think I've even, I've read the first one, right. So the card in the West represents a part of you that needs to die. It is an old story that needs to be let go so that you may find a new meaningful story for your life. Boom, drop the mic. The one I done yesterday was about endings and beginnings, that long video that I done yesterday. So, and it, like say, the equinox is about that too. It's like, summer is, coming to an end, and autumn has arrived, or depending on what country you've lived in, it might seem like fucking winter. Some days it's fucking freezing. It seemed like winter here, but anyway, so and we've got the rattle in reverse. Oh my god, I'm sure there's a joke there too, but oh, right, so I don't know. You want to catch God on the whisper, not on the shout. What you are trying to craft to your own desires and expectations is already there, standing before you. Do not spin the world to your own benefit. You are being offered the Creator's tools, which must be put to use to serve a divine purpose. Yeah, so there's something about not I'm feeling that's like, don't misuse your power, whatever that's going to mean to someone. I've forgotten what the first card is already. Is that some weird shaman tantra with a reverse rattle? between me talking about 50 Shades of Grey and now you're saying that is not what I mean, you went way worse than me. You actually, and what's funny is the snake card was actually on top of the deck for a start, the serpent. Don't, please, just, I need to get through this. This is just, I'm telling you, I made myself a joke. I can't come on here on Scorpio moons because it's just fucking sex in the air. What is it that happened earlier, actually? I'm sure. Oh, that's what it was. All the songs coming on my Spotify were all about sex. It was like 50 Cent, just a little bit. And then it was like something else. And I was like, well, somebody's feeling the Kundalini. Oh, so funny. Right, okay, so. Oh, right, so. No, I was more referring to, if you think about rattle and you add another letter, that means something else. Which is really quite dirty, but that's what I was thinking. But you went way worse with it. Right, okay, so 17. Hilarious. Right, so the card in the north represents the wisdom that you need to acquire. You've learned the lessons from the south and the west cards. What wisdom is ready to mature within you? What is your great medicine that you're ready to embrace? What are the deeply buried treasures that have become available to you? 17. It's the only upright card that we have. My stomach hurts and I'm laughing so hard. I know, I'm fucking, my hips are hurting from laughing. I can't even comprehend that next. It's so funny that I'm just laughing it's just so funny that I was talking about 50 Shades of Grey as well. Right. Oh dear. My God. Right. Jesus. Right. So, Earth. So still fuck knows. Man probably totally Alice Cooper now with eyeliner, but I purposely didn't put it on again because I was like, I'm not having that happen. Right. So I've got a total stitch from laughing. I'm not even kidding you. That is so funny. Right. Earth represents the gift of life. The symbol on this card refers to the body of the planet Earth, the human body, and nature herself. We're reminded by this symbol that all creatures are born of the earth and human beings are the stewards of all life on this planet. It refers to what we make of it, our health, wealth, security, grounding, solidity, and stability. It reminds us that the world of form is a gift from spirit and needs to be treated with respect. Oh, actually, that kind of ties on from what we're saying, right? Along with there being like, don't misuse your power, I feel there's also a message, which I don't get from that card, but I was feeling it's like, I feel if you think about it, if you haven't done some real 50 shades of rattle, I'm not even going to go, like, I'm not even going to go there. But I think, yeah. Fucking hell, by the way. If you like seriously, if people know what I mean when I'm saying like that, like yeah, that's I'm channeling the yeah. I need to get off this live stream, man. This doesn't go very well for what I said about twins that are put this way, right? Ironically, if you truly understand what the twin flame union, like the shag union, as Michelle calls it, I said that I actually said your name in the shorts earlier with ones that are later on in the week. That if you're to be serious for a minute, right? So please don't make me laugh for a minute because I need to say what they're saying to me. Is because like I say, the sexual guides, the tantra guides do like to come in with the stuff on the Scorpio moon. So and we can all learn something, like me included, if I listen to them. But it's although I don't need to be taught in that department, do you know what I mean? But basically, yeah, if you are close to a physical sacred union, shag union, like sacred sexual union, actually, right? This is what I'm being serious about. People need to understand this, is that the sexual energy will completely die down. So you'll already have went through the period of well, just really feeling a lot of sexual energy and just wanting that with your twin, basically. Like it'll be like, really, really overpowering. It could drive you fucking nuts, really. But you'll know what I mean if you've already experienced that. Like it'll just be insane. And then it's like then you'll move into a period of time where it's that's the only way I can put it. It just calms down, or it completely goes away altogether. Now, it doesn't mean that you don't still. It doesn't mean that you still, yeah, the rabbit period, but it's again, it's hard for me to describe exactly how I'd want to because I'm a bit uncomfortable doing it when I'm in public, like the. Even that sounds like an innuendo. Like I'm just going to keep going. Fucking hell. Like I mean, I can describe this stuff in personal sessions, but it's because right. What I keep channeling and the cards back me up with what I said on the last one was if you're just constantly focused on the sex part and just completely just daydreaming about that all the time, you're actually not going to ironically get to it because staying in the lower chakras and doing whatever you do to relieve yourself of that you're not allowing that energy to raise up. And and what really awakens your divine masculine is the so this is for divine feminines. I'm glad you're slightly uncomfortable doing it in public. Well, oh, I just I'm losing it. I'm losing it. Oh fuck! Now we're on to squirrel shagging. Yes. Anyway, right. So, yeah. Wait a minute. Right. I'm not going to look at the comments because they are funny and it's good, but I do need to get these downloads that are coming in. Right. So for whatever. Right. Use your fucking common sense with what I'm saying here. Right. That if the two of you in a union keep obsessing about the sex part and you actually do something about that, and I'm talking about that, if you're still having sex with other folk, right, then you got more work to do and you're not at the bit that I'm talking about. So this is not for the people that we're one of you, or definitely not if the two of you are involved with other folk. I'd say, I'm not going to say you're not a twin flame, but you're just not getting it, really, is what I'm going to say at that. So sorry if that triggers people. So this is for the people that you have been celibate quite some time, whether it's years or periods of time, whatever. And then your twin will begin to mirror that. Now, by no means do I think you're both. I mean, that'd be a fucking tall task to expect that your twin's going to be celibate for years when you are. Like, trust me, some actually will. Like, some people will have been able to do that. I'm talking about men, yeah, I'm generalising. Sorry, men, because not all men are like that, right? They just aren't. But some that are probably more feminine men would have done that. I mean, definitely the divine feminine men, some of them definitely will have been called to do that. But so we're talking about, it doesn't need to be huge, long periods of time. It would just be like enough time to clear their energy of all the sexual escapades, or definitely if you've been involved with kind of people that have done weird sex magic on you and that, or manipulated you, or just toxic stuff around sex. You know what I mean? So this is where I'm going to be serious for a minute, because this is serious stuff. So if you have entered this period of, you might even think there's something a bit weird about that you're like, hey, wait a minute, like, why am I not wanting them Spirit, why did you say it to me like that? I suppose that's not, yeah, it's like, why am I not wanting them to like jump my bones like every second? Do you know what I mean? Like, that is what it's like on the twin flame journey. You're just walking about your house being like, I just really want to, do you know what I mean? Like, that's really, like, seriously, I mean, that's what it's like, you know what I mean? That's just the truth. And then you move past that bit. And yeah, it'll almost go like quite quiet and silent, and you're just, and that's when you're moving up, the energy's moving up, and you're moving up to the higher chakras. And it's not like you're always going to stay there and you both be fucking saints, and then even when you come into the twin flame union, you're not going to, seal the deal. Of course you fucking do. But it might be that, like, some of you come into union and you might surprise yourself that it's like you've been dreaming about like getting home with them for fucking years or months or whatever the deal is, and actually you're in a more mature place of, do you know what? This is actually what I would have jumped in and done in the past with other people, or even with that same person. I don't want to do it like that this time. Like, I want to take it a bit slower and get to know you. And well, it's actually, I knew I didn't, but I was like, I really don't want to. I knew when I was watching the 50 Shades of Grey trilogy, sorry, it was more than a trailer. I watched the fucking whole of the 3 films, and then I've even watched them more since that because I kept finding them. But I knew when I was watching that it was going to be for channeling it at some point. It was meant for now. That, if you think about, if you've ever seen any of those films, but if you've watched them all, that is what does it for a lot of people. Basically, I'm not talking about the dark. I must stress, I'm not talking about, because to be honest, see with the first film, I never get tired of watching that. Like, and it's not really, to be honest with you, yeah, the sex scenes are just a part of it, right? They're not what I watch it for. It's like, I just love love stories, and I just love that. I'm talking about the sexual chemistry between them and just a beautiful love story. Like, she's saving him and he's saving her. They're saving each other. That's what I love about it. But it's maybe a bit too intense for some. Like, some people wouldn't like it that intense, like that connection that intense. I'm saying my words. Some people certainly wouldn't like it as intense as the fucking rest of it. I'm sorry, but I'm drawing the line at like I'm not wanting to be fucking taken into somebody's little fucking dodgy room. No thanks. I'll be fucking running out there. I'll be like, listen, this is too much. I'm away. But anyway, to go back to why they were getting me to say that, the slow build, that's what Christian Grey, that's what he's all about. He's wanting to fucking tease her and, tempt her and then, after it's well, it's like just you wait till I get you home kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? Like that's what you want, right? Yeah, it's fun to just sort of get on with it right away and all that too. But that's more, I would say, when you're in a loving, committed relationship with someone that you trust, that which is why I think that film's a good example, because they end up getting married and, and then fucking hell, and then they've got folk trying to kill them and everything. And it's a pretty dramatic example, mind you, but I mean, it's kind of not too far away from the, anyway, it's, the people that don't, that are jealous of you being together and everything. But, I have no idea how I got on all of that, but it's hilarious. So, right. So, as I'm looking at this acorn in my salon resonates, like, Christ, in my dream last night, look at last night's live comments you missed. A guy touched my back and I melted in. So starved of physical touch. Oh, yeah. So it was in your dream. Right, yeah, I'll look at it, because did you join the live and I missed you? Oh no, because that was when my phone died. Because she was talking about squirrels, so that's why the acorn's relevant, I'm assuming. But acorns are actually about abundance as well. But Brianna can tell you herself, but I'm assuming that's why the acorn is but why did I get so wait a minute, this is important. Why did I get onto that? Oh yeah, shit, it's important. Right, so obviously, like, take bits of this, because then it becomes not important about 50 Shades of Grey, because obviously they definitely do seal the deal. They seal the deal quite a lot. He's definitely a Scorpio. Do you know what I mean? If that character has to be serious, he must be Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Rising, and fucking everything else. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, I would say. And what would she be? She might be like a Pisces or a Libra, or like I don't know, actually. She could be an Aries too. Yeah, because like you said, like the more innocent, well, maybe not anyway, like, bits of it doesn't remind me of what I see my connection like. But whether that's actually what it's like in literal, like whether that, you know what I mean, it's whatever, just come away from this. But the whole point is that sexual tension and building, once you've moved past a bit of it that drives you fucking nuts, where you just have to yeah, you have to do something about it. Yeah, and that's why it gets sabotaged, you see, because when, especially, I would say more with divine masculines, but it could be some divine feminines that haven't got good self-control as well, or self-discipline. It's like when you're in, it's like, right, here's a good example. When I went on that night out with my best friend, who, just as, she's like literally my best friend, soulmate type person. And because I hadn't drank for over like a year and a half or something as well, she's always very protective of me, as I am of her too. But it's like, it literally was just about the dancing for me. But I said to her before the event, watch this. I was like, I bet I actually get a lot of guys coming up to me, right? Which I don't get a lot, but it was like, I knew I would, and I did, because it was like, I'm emitting that powerful sexual, like, I'm just, whether I want to or not, it's oozing from me, and people feel it. So then if you are not self-disciplined, like, lots of people will go ahead with that, and you're just going to sabotage your own twin flame journey. So whether you're a man, woman, divine feminine, divine masculine, so so just take on board, everyone, what I'm saying here. It's like, some of you might not be as bit, you're like, whatever, Claire, I know soul ties, but I just want to get pissed and shag and whatever, and that's where you're at. But I'm just saying, for those of you that are a wee bit more seasoned, or as this change of seasons, or you're more further on in the journey, and that you've went through the crazy sexual energy part, and now it's went a bit quiet, like, it's because they're building the tension, and that's why I'm referencing the bits of the 50 Shades of Grey, because, and then actually then we can refer to that bit, like when you then are ready to, well, basically when the energy has moved to the upper chakras enough that that'll be when your divine masculine actually can see through all the fake people that are around them, whether it's one person, 5 people, or fucking everyone. I'd go by actually the energy of today. It felt like, sadly, it does feel like fucking everyone for some folk, or a lot of people. Just seeing through, you know, the falseness of the matrix and the programming and everything. That is then when they'll be pulled. You'll be compelled to go to your twin, to, you know, to find, and that is when, again, well, that's the rest of it is up to you. Like you say, some people will just consummate the spiritual marriage, you know, they'll fucking get it on then, you know, then you can, you know, get out your system. But that's how you get to them, is by, you know, you have to have that period of, you know, and I mean, and, you know, if you read between the lines, it means you can't be doing any of your own sex magic on your own, men, women, whatever you identify as, because that will pull you back down again. Weirdly, isn't it? Because you might think when you're taught things about manifesting sexual energy and all that, yeah, for some stuff, but not with this bit from the way that I understand it and what I'm told. And there'll be many other people that know that are talking about that would say that as well. And it's not to say that, can I just be clear though, it's not to say that there aren't some twins that are in union that didn't go through that bit, but then I bet you the ones that are with the twin flame now, if you didn't actually see that, you'll come up against hurdles and problems later on, because I know that from the people that I work with. That makes a lot of sense, actually. I think that will help people that are actually with their twin as well. But if you know that you're in that now, or you've went through it, like say it's been quiet for about roughly a month, where you've not felt any of that real sexual energy kind of taking a hold of you, and I'd probably get quite excited. It means I would say it's like you're quite close to a physical union, where you then can do something about it, whether you choose to wait a while and then do it, or, you know, whatever. Right, so are we clear? You came on as the phone died, so I thought that, right, she's got to mean it. That's what I'd say. You know what I mean? That's why I think, again, I must stress severely, I'm not meaning those bits of it, right? Because like I said, I turn the film off at the end of the first one when he does whatever the fuck he does. I don't think they even really show you. But you know, it's basically, it takes it too far, and she's like, I'm fucking out of here. Do you know what I mean? Jesus Christ, this guy's hot, but this is too much. And then it's like, this is so crazy, actually, because this is what was really amazing for me, is I hadn't seen the second one. I hadn't actually seen the third one either, I don't think. But put it this way, I watched the third one before I watched the second one, because I found that, yeah, so, and then I watched it all again, right? So but on the second one, that is really, this is so meant to be. I'm just going to go with this because I knew I was going to be using this whole thing for whoever it's meant to make sense to. For the really intense unions, I think this makes a lot of sense, because in the second one, it's actually like the film starts off with it's him like basically apologizing to her and being like, look, you know, I want you back, and like basically, sorry, I freaked out, all the freaky sex shit. You know what I mean? It's you know, he does it, obviously it's Christian Grey, so I mean, it's just, you know, he does it, it's a lot better than that. But it's I think that's where the love story develops a wee bit more, and that's what I get from it anyway. Is it's like basically the whole gist of it is he's like, look, I'm willing to change the darker parts, say, well, I'm in that way. Because, like, you know, well, it's like there's a scene in the film where, like, she says to the old fucking, you know, basically child abuser, isn't it? It's like the one that teaches him. Basically, yeah, he says to her, you taught me how to F, she taught me how to love. So again, I feel that must be a channeled message for someone too. You know, so get out the fucking building, you old bitch. Do you know what I mean? Who's actually Kim Basinger, isn't she? She's but yeah, anyway, if you know what 50 Shades of Grey is about, you know what I mean? So it's kind of like and there's a really touching part as well. Is that in the second film or the third one, where he really fucks up and he thinks that she's leaving him and she's not. She's just angry. And then he goes and he's on his knees and he's like, please don't leave me. And it's like, it did feel like he was reverting to his inner child, and it's like he was begging. But again, it feels like some kind of weird, like, you know, that's where all that, again, if you're into that, like, you own in that, do you know what I mean? But again, I'm a counsellor, so I'm going to say this, right? But again, I've got a lot of Scorpio energy, and there's always something quite, there's always some kind of reason why some people would go. Again, it's interesting too, because I watched a documentary on, I'm not going to say the name of things, right? But they guided me to one day watch, like, seriously, I was sitting watching a series about, it was someone basically doing investigative work about sex, but like the dark side of the sex industry, which, by the way, I've helped people with in sessions before that have been lured into certain different kinds of things like that. You know what I mean? Like, which happens to a lot of people. It's the devil. Do you know what I mean? It's the devil energy, and it's the lust energy, and it's why, see what I mean? There's really going, right, it's going really deep, but it's quite interesting. And it just, yeah, it really saddened me when I was watching a lot of it. I just don't buy it at all when some people are like, oh, it makes me feel empowered. And I just think some people copy what other people are saying. It makes me feel empowered to do that, and it makes me feel like I'm taking control. No. Like, how could you ever go to sleep at night and feel good about yourself? Like, your skin's gonna be crawling because you're literally attracting demons into your energy field, and fuck knows who's fucking, you know what I mean? It's anyway, because it's all about the intention, you see. Because it's kind of like, you know, people have said things to me in the past about, like, don't you care about the fact that you're on the internet, and like people could be fucking, like, you know, doing whatever, like, you know, liking a bit of you. And I'm just kind of like, yeah, but I don't, that's not why I do this work. Like, I'm not setting intentions like, oh, I'm going to go on YouTube because I'm like fucking going to be, you know, providing this for folk that, like, no, I'm fucking doing it to come on and help people. If some fucking weirdos want to fucking do shit like that, and what, you know, do you know what I'm saying? It's all about with other things. It's like your intention behind it is for money, like, and money is, you know, a lot of money is attached to, like, great. It's just, and that's why it was like when I was watching this program about this is so interesting, this is all come through, but it's going to mean something. It was like, you know, this girl was like, you know, doing something online, but and it's like she's driving fancy cars and living big million mansions and that, but I could see her aura around her, so like she felt empty and dirty, and I would be very interested, you know, as a counsellor, you know, if you know, to really get the full story behind what's led someone to do that, because I truly don't believe that somebody could be happy with their life living that way. Like, it's just, so anyway, so again, and that's coming through, so fucking hell, man. I'm never channeling a Scorpio moon again. It's went from the beautiful side of sex to the dark side of sex, but like I said, it's the Scorpio's the shadow. So like you said, Sex in the Air, Rihanna songs feeling like it's pretty thingy there, right? So were you all just listening with fucking like, you know, it always feels like that card on one of those decks where it's like, you know, the teacher with the book and the children are like looking up. It's like, Antoinette McKinney, are you, why is your wee picture just disappeared there? Sorry, I'm in full detective mode. Are you new? Are you a twin flame? Are you a bot? I'm just asking, as if you're gonna be like, oh yeah, I'm a bot, or like I'm just, but I'm not actually doing the personal cards right now. I'm doing the collective one, and then I'll get back to them. But yeah, right, okay. So, so this is the Earth. So I forgot what the question is now. It was something about what's the medicine. Wait a minute, I do need to remind myself of it. What are the deeply buried treasures that have become available to you? Earth represents the gift of life. The symbol on the card refers to the body of the planet Earth, the human body, and nature herself. We're reminded by the symbol that all creatures are born of the earth, and human beings are stewards of life on this planet. It refers to what we make of it, our health, wealth, security, grounding, solidity, and stability. It reminds us that the world of form is a gift from spirit and needs to be treated with respect. When the earth symbol appears, it represents a need to focus on reverence and appreciation for the natural gifts that are coming to you now and always. The concrete world you inhabit is there by the grace of spirit and you're part of it. Oh, I think that's what I started to say. Like, I feel there was a message there about, like, as a divine feminine, like, if you've not done the shadow work, because see how some energy or my own shadow didn't want to say it, but again, it's not that, it's the energies don't want me to give a message, because it's important. When your masculine comes to you, it's important not to misuse your power, as in that whole kind of old paradigm of, well, you done this to me, so I'm going to do that to you. Because like I said earlier, that is not, I'm new, dear, just got on your channel by chance. I'm Scottish. All right, interesting. Welcome. That is not what a true divine feminine would do to a divine masculine. So it doesn't mean, like I said, it doesn't mean you're a fucking angel. And actually, I can see why they're actually giving me the example of you know, the characters in 50 Shades of Grey, because that is what is nice about it. Like, she goes from being all this kind of innocent kind of virgin, because she's literally an innocent sort of virgin, which I'm sure is applying to fucking nobody on here, but I mean, who knows in this world, but and fucking good for you if that's what you, but it's kind of like, it is in the sense, I suppose, of the fact that divine feminines do, most divine feminines that have been on the journey for a long time do spend years of being celibate. Like, that's why you should be careful who you listen to, because it is a divine union. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's with the divine. So it's, you know what I mean? Like, I'd kind of question if kind of folk are like, oh yeah, I'm still sort of sweet mother folk in that because he's fucking doing this, that, and other. It's like, that's not what the twin flame journey's about. Do you know what I mean? I get men being horrible to me. Are you nice to yourself? Don't allow men to be horrible to you, basically. Right. Boundaries, Antoinette. What age are you? I mean, that's, you don't need to tell what age you are, actually. You never ask a woman their age, but I'm just trying to suss out on. Right, so yeah, she doesn't take any shit, which is why I feel Nyx is saying she feels the Aries thing too. Like, she, you know, if we're just, it's hypothetically here. I might actually look into that at some point. Like, you know, do they go as far? Like, sometimes they do that with programs and films. Like, they'll actually be like, oh, their star sign's meant to be this. But it's like, you know, she can put up a good fight. You know, she puts up a good fight for it. Definitely in the second, or is that the third one? No, definitely in the third one. Yeah, in the third one, like, yeah, she really puts her foot down in that. But oh right, nice, yes. Yeah, so there is this kind of theme here about, like, you know, so in that film there is a real balance here of, she can actually see the wounded part of him, as well as, like, you know, really digging the, you know, I mean, because he's just fucking, he's hot as fuck, isn't he? But it's like, anyway, but it's kind of like each to their own, but you know what I'm saying? It's like, you know, she can obviously see that, like anyone if fucking with a pair of eyes can see how hot that guy's, but it's like, she also sees the vulnerable part of him, and, you know, doesn't kind of buy the whole, like, you know, don't touch me here, and, you know, it's kind of like Pretty Woman, which is like, I don't kiss on the lips kind of thing. It's like, that's the male version of it, like, don't touch my heart kind of thing, nobody gets my heart. And she's like, well, actually, I think I do get your heart because I've got the key to it. I don't know where that came from, but I love it. And you'll get what I mean if you, there's a really beautiful, like, intimate scene, which isn't sex, actually. This is what I mean, like, you know, it's that I think loads of people, like, really rip those films to shreds about kind of, you know, and I think it was all the people that have read the book and are like butthurt that they've been made into a film kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? But it's like, I hate reading, right? I don't like the word hate, but I listen to audiobooks, and, like, reading books, just you know, the only books I've ever read, physical books, are when they're sort of spiritual books, and I've read it all in about a fucking 2 hours or something. Classic ADHD. But I love the love story. Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel it's very believable, and the chemistry and everything, right down to the fact that I even think the actual actors, you know what I mean? It's like, if I was like the partner of them, I'd be kind of like, do you know what I mean? Because it's like, it really does seem like they've got real chemistry. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, that's the way that I feel that's a really beautiful demonstration, because again, if you think about it, the start is a real fucking power imbalance. because of what he's into and all of that, and he holds a lot of power over her. But then I feel she really balances him by being like, hey, you know what I mean, I'll fucking be open to some of this shit, but I've got my fucking boundaries. And they then start to balance each other. So this is the weirdest fucking example ever, the twin flames are, but I do get what they're saying. And then it's like they meet in the middle, and it's actually really beautiful. I just think they're a really beautiful couple. Even right to the fact where I know it's about millionaires and that, so I mean, fair enough if that's fucking relevant to some folk, but you know what I mean, it's more the fact that they're in their own wee world of just being totally consumed in one another, which, like I say, isn't really necessarily very healthy, guys. But I think with it, if it's codependency, that's not healthy. But if you've worked through codependency and it's actually about you've been stabbed in the back by that many people and you're going to have each other's backs, I think that's really pretty hot, really. Do you know what I mean? But it's each to their own. That's my opinion on it. Right, so can we stop channeling about 50 Shades of Grey, please? Because I mean, it's if it comes in again, fine. But right, so it reminds us that when the Earth symbol appears, it represents a need to focus on reverence and appreciation for the natural gifts that are coming to you now and always. The concrete world is your Did I read this already? I'm just going to read it again. The concrete world you inhabit is there by the grace of spirit, and you're part of it. Much can be accomplished now when you focus on compassionate, reverent service to the world. If you act with integrity, gratitude, and humility, which is very Virgo qualities, and hopefully you see that within me because I've got my sun within the house of Virgo, you will find yourself more prosperous than you can imagine. Oh, that's kind of weird though, because I just mentioned the fact that that guy's a fucking millionaire, multi-millionaire, whatever. And this is talking about you will be more prosperous than you can imagine. But like prosperity, abundance in the new earth, it's not about the money, because like the money system's currently collapsing, and it's going to collapse in a big, massive fucking way. And if you're overly obsessed with money and greed and sex and all these kind of things, and you're, you know, and like I said, I'm praying for you. God forbid if you're making any kind of money in kind of the dark kind of world, the sex and all that as well. I think, you know, I mean, you're going down with the old world. You know what I'm saying? But you will find yourself more prosperous than you can imagine. Success is assured when the earth appears as an invitation. Yeah, I suppose because earth is pentacles and tarot. It's about that's money, but so there's something about abundance coming through gratitude, humility, and hard work. See what I mean? There's a real strong message coming through for people that have been doing healing work for a long, long time, and you've actually not really ever seen a lot of money for it, or you know, in a way that keeps you afloat. I mean, you know what I'm saying. If you're one of them, you know exactly what I'm saying, and I know because I do attract a lot of people. Like I attract people that have got money as well, and I'm not. It's you know, but I do attract a lot of people that come up against money struggles, and a lot of the time it's because there's witchcraft being done on your finances. but and sometimes it's just your own limited beliefs around money and that too. But again, if you know that you've done a lot of work around that and it's still happening, it is because it's an attack on your union. Because that's the thing, you've got to have the balance. Like, yeah, don't be all about the money and be greedy about it, and you know, just kind of, you know. But if you're also if you're always in a state of poverty or not having money, that can then make you feel shit as well and stop things from happening. So, you know, there's a bit, you've got to find the balance of not letting it rule your life, which I feel is what divine feminines teach divine masculines. Yeah. Right. Okay. So now we'll read the last one, the Andean Cross 2. This is the card in the East, which represents your possible destiny, the way that you will share your treasures and gifts with others. Which, ironically, that's one of mine, is that my journey with money is so fucking up and down that I know that I've just put in so much hard work to heal myself, to heal other people. And I'm just grateful the whole time through everything that happens in my life. I just continue to be grateful. And that's true abundance. Do you know what I mean? And eventually at some point it means you actually attract literal abundance. But like I think sadly for me it's a bit shan really, but I feel like I feel like I feel money is just going to be used in a different kind of way very soon. I say that all the time, but I do feel that. I don't think it'll be ever the same as what we imagine it to be. But whatever money is and whatever abundance is, someone actually once said that to me. That I ooze like abundance. Do you know what I mean? Like, and it's not, it's not in the money. It's not in the money way that you know it. It's like, it's spiritual abundance, like just basically true Empress energy. And when you act in that integrity as much as you can, like, you know, like I would say, God is watching, just watching it, like working that energy all the time. That's what that power imbalance card is about as well. Is, you know, if you think, oh, I can get away with that because nobody's going to know about it, and there's real bad intentions behind it, God is watching. So no, like, please forgive yourself if you've acted like that in the past. Have a rebirth and come out another side. That's what you can do in Scorpio moon right now. You know what I mean? Like, release the past, the dark past, forgive yourself and move on. And all you can do is hope and pray that the people that you want to move towards forgive you. That would be specifically twin flames. But like you said, if it's your true twin flame, they do forgive you because it's your essence, no matter how dark it gets, believe me. I mean, and that's probably why I'm channeling about 50 Shades of Grey, for Christ's sake, because I mean, you know what I mean? He's got a pretty dark past, and fuck knows whatever that character's done. and she's a fucking virgin. So I mean, you couldn't really get any more fucking yin and yang than that, could you? Right. So, and like I said, that's certainly not channeling my story there, because I'm not that bit of it. Right. So, this is just funny, but so. The time has passed and the window, oh no, it's this one. Oh fuck. I'm going to put that. I think, like, sorry, like, remember, this is me, right? These are the cards that I've pulled, and I remember pulling this once before months ago, and I channeled a message about divine masculines. If you don't take the action when you're guided to, you'll miss your opportunity. And so, and I do feel that did happen for a lot of divine masculines, you know what I mean? But I feel there's another window of opportunity now, and it's about the, you know, the new earth. It's about all the things that are happening in the world right now, and it's about making a decision. Because think about all the personal messages tonight. If I don't do any more, that's what they've all been about. It's time to stop procrastination, and make a decision, because that's what divine masculine energy is at its strongest. It's making a decision, sticking by it, and taking the action. Fuck it, let's go, messy action. Again, if you're new to me, that's what I teach people to do. That's my challenge. But I have to say, like, you know, this card has come up again. Look, it says, the time has passed and the window of opportunity has closed. Now is not the moment to take that leap you've been over preparing for. I almost don't want to fucking read this. I'll piece it together in a minute. There's a lot of signaling here. It is best to wait until conditions in heaven line up again to offer you a more propitious moment. I don't know what that means. Any bold action you take now will require tremendous effort on your part. But you see, that does make sense. And now I know why they're getting me to channel the 50 Shades of Grey, because in that, again, look away now if you've not seen the films, but in the second one, it opens up almost right away with him coming, you know, like he buys all the paintings of her because he doesn't want anyone to look at her. But it's like, you know, which is very Scorpio, isn't it? But it's like, yeah, you know, with the flowers, and, you know, can I at least just talk to you, or can I take you out for dinner and all that kind of shit? And then, you know, they're back at it in fucking 5 minutes, you know what I mean? Because she was obviously missing them. But it's kind of like it's that kind of feeling of he has to go to her very humble and remorseful for whatever the fuck went on in that wee room. And because she knows his heart, you know, she forgives him, and she can see that it's like, you know, you're troubled because of what you've went through. So it's really going to speak to whoever that's going to speak to. Any bold action, yeah, well, tremendous effort. So it does, because it involves putting your pride and ego aside. And again, if you know the 50 Shades, you know, that character, actually, I mean, he's not a bit, yeah, that's the thing, like, that's why I like those films. Like, he's just, because let's face it, even if he was just really good looking, but he was a fucking bastard, but he's not. Like, that is why I think I love that film. Like, he's just, he's got a whole load of money, but he's actually like a really he's just a really nice guy, and he's actually really respect. Because even when you've got other women coming on to him in the film, because basically, you know, everybody fancies him, you know what I mean? He's like, oh, this is my wife, and he's very kind of, you know what I mean? So and that's how it should be. Like with a true divine union, never mind fucking twin flames, with a true just love partnership, somebody that is like you're in love with. Like you should both stop somebody from crossing the line and being inappropriate. Do you know what I mean? Without being too much, because like I said, it's toxic. You've got to have a sense of humour about things and that as well. It's like you know, whenever I've heard folk like that in the past going on like that, like it's yeah, we're not talking about being too controlling here, because again, I suppose there are there's definitely parts of 50 Shades of Grey where he is actually quite controlling. But like I said, she then's like, look, get your silly fuck, you know what I mean? You're not telling me what to do. And that's basically, you know what I mean? Balance. Anyway, it'll make sense to someone. So just as important as knowing when to act is knowing when to return to your inner stillness and wait for more favorable times. And that actually does make a shitload of sense, because in the music shorts that I done earlier, which wow, I channeled the song from 50 Shades of Grey coming through loads today. I channeled the song, and that's what I've used on the shorts, because yeah. And in that, it says it's not the right time. Let's shuffle that deck again. So for some reason, whoever this is going to make sense to, it isn't the right time for a divine masculine to go towards divine feminine. And that can be from a whole load of different reasons. Perhaps they're going through their own tower moment of healing things that are causing them a lot of distress, destabilizing them, or going through a total dark night of the soul, and it's just not the right time. And then, you know, things shift and it is the right time, because I did pull the Hermit for divine masculine energies right now. It could even be like when, you know, some people are saying they're really feeling the emotions tonight. It's that is what Scorpio moon does to you. It's fucking dark and it's painful, and you know, and sometimes you have to sit in that pain alone to truly heal it. That's shadow work. But at some point, you have to allow yourself the gift of being with your one to heal that pain together. Do you know what I mean? And so I'm not talking about you've not done the work and you go and you just let the other person deal. That's not what I'm talking about. It would be healing. This is so funny they've done this today. Earlier it was normal people, and now they're using the whole, like, you know, Anna and Christian thing. It's they heal through sex. You know what I mean? Like, whether it's from the fact that she's a virgin and he's like, right, you know what, I'm going to put aside all the kinky shit because this bird's never, you know, had sex before, and I can't be fucking taking her in with the whips and chains and the whatever fucking else is in that room. You know, he takes her to his bedroom. Hello, Tina, how are you doing? He takes her to the bedroom, and I can't say the word. It's the word that I can't say, the phrase. He, you know, he M's the L, you know what I mean? He makes the love. I kind of said it, you know, we're cringing, you know, and it's I'm going to piss myself laughing when I watch this one back, or I'm just not going to be able to watch it. My fucking face is going red and everything. But you know what I mean? It's like, and then he's like, right, now that we've done it the proper way, let's fucking show you the way that I did. I was like, oh my God. Yeah, but anyway, there's something about that, because you think about it in all seriousness here, there's a lot of serious issues that are dealt with in that film. The fact that that is not right, that, you know, he's taken advantage of by a Mrs. Robinson, but that also classes as child abuse, because it's like I think he's only something like 15 or something when she introduces him to all that kinky shit. That is fucking wrong. And some people maybe don't realise that, you know, like that does, you know, that's really sad. You know, I bet you loads of people would resonate with that, but it's like, you know, I mean, I can think of loads of people that have helped in the past, or even just been around in the past, where, like, I can remember some friends of mine as well that, like, you know, like I was kind of fucking mind blown when some people have told me the ages that they actually had sex or done sexual things, and I'm like, fuck, see, that's like still a fucking kid. Do you know what I mean? Like, I hadn't even fucking, I've had some people say to me the ages that they've had sex, and I hadn't even fucking properly kissed somebody, like, put it that way. And you know, when you get older and you understand all this stuff, especially because I am, you know, a trained counselor as well, it's really sad, you know, like it really hurts my heart actually, because some people are introduced to things to do with sex like far too young. And you know, other than the obvious kind of, you know, where there's things like, you know, all the dark side of sex that, you know, that it clearly is obviously wrong, there could be things that you might not think are that wrong, but they really actually are, like, quite inappropriate. And yeah, so wherever that's going to speak to people too. But I just want to shuffle, I just want to see, because like you said, that card saying it's not quite the right time. So like you said, it's definitely going to be all that stuff that I just channeled there. And some of it could be it's not the right time because some people are still involved with others. But like say, it's something that's not that, like someone isn't with someone and it's just not the right time because there's just other heavy shit going on in their life. Or it can be because we're talking about sex, like some people could be healing sex addictions. I mean, because that's probably definitely what that character's got. Although it doesn't look like they two want to heal from it anytime soon, but sorry, just saying. But you know what I mean? Like I said, it's because she heals him. Sorry, I've got to go. So, see what I mean? I'm fucking teasing you. I'm off. I've channeled this and I'm away. When I was dating with an online site, I had someone tell me they slept with one of, oh my God, their parents' friends on the regular. I wanted to hunt them down. Oh my God. Oh, but wait a minute though, Tina. Jesus Christ. That's actually really tying in with what I'm saying, which is probably why you've just chipped in with that. But, you know, I don't want to go too deep with this, but this is really going to resonate. I really do feel that there are going to be some people tuning into this that are going to resonate with that, because you think about it, that is the exact same thing. Think about it. Have you seen 50 Shades of Grey, Tina? That is exactly, there's something in this, because that is exactly what happens in that film. Like, he is basically being taken advantage of by the mum's friend. So again, that was a bit specific, but I actually really do feel that is going to be someone's exact situation for me to say that, because that's not a coincidence that I'm channeling that and now you've just said that. But like I said, it's yeah. And you see, some people might think that's kind of cool because it's like, oh, that's why they say Mrs. Robbins. That's why Anna says that to him. But some people could get, it is abuse. It absolutely is abuse. You know, that's why I said it. It's like, and that's why that character says that to him throughout the whole film. You know what I mean? She's like, you know, she's a child abuser, because that is. But you see, it's the way that society frames some of stuff, whether it's a woman taking advantage of a man or a boy, or a man taking advantage of a girl, or a man taking advantage of another of the same, you know, same sex, you know, whatever it is. Yeah, that is abuse. And so there's something here about, like, you might not have seen it like that at the time, but when you get older, you then look at it as like, oh, so, oh God, that's really deep. Oh, that's nice. Sorry, that was just my mum. Right, so, but then you see, like, oh my God, that was just my mum. So look how fucking relevant that is. That was just my mum. And I'm talking about this. So this is, again, obviously, this is clearly not for everyone, but this is going to speak to somebody out there that is not exactly going to fucking be like, oh yeah, that was me. But yeah, that is definitely going to be resonating, because it's like, because it's especially because the mum doesn't know. The mum doesn't find out until the last film. Or is it, no, she finds out in the second film. And she chucks a drink on her. Good old bitch. See, you could see me and Tina are the same. It's like, you know, I don't normally speak like that. That's coming out, sorry, that's coming out really, sorry, not sorry, actually. It's fucking true, isn't it? But like, it evokes strong emotions, especially on a Scorpio moon. But it's like, you know, you're an Aries too, Tina, aren't you? And like I said, I feel that Anna's character could be seen as an Aries in some way, or have Aries placements. It's like she feels very angry at that old boot because of what she's done to him, because she's controlling him. Even still in the third film, yeah, she's got some kind of weird toxic control over him. because that is grooming. You know what I mean? Yeah, he was a teenager. It's grooming someone. It's fucking sick. And it's not the person's fault. And like I said, I've helped loads of people with that. It's a big part of my work. So when you know, that's why I think they're making me say this, that if you have ever sadly been subjected to any kind of abuse like that, this is what I help people with, whether it be a shamanic journey to get back your power, but also like, you need therapy, whether it be from me or someone else. I've taken her out the back for sure, although I don't think I would have even gotten that far. Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like, anyway, we'll cut this because we want to clear the energy of that, but it's right. Did I see what other people? I'm going to have to deal with the kids now. All the love, right? Sorry about that. You're probably gone now. I just love that we're talking about sex while I'm in the drive-through for coffee. Why are you, what's the sex got to do with the, I mean, can people hear what I'm saying? Oh my God. Do you mean that people could hear what I was saying? Fucking hell, man. Oh fuck, don't tell me that's why I'm saying it. My boss is very controlling with me and abusive. Where do you work? I'm being like, I'm asking questions that are way too thingy. By the way, I did just ignore the alarm for the you don't need to tell me where you work, but basically, is there not any way that you can go to the management? I suppose he's the boss, but yeah, basically, I mean, I've been, well, I've not been in that exact situation, but I've absolutely been in workplaces where the boss is controlling and abusive. 100% fucking, I've been in loads of places like that, and it's retail, right? And it is really difficult because it can lead to, like, I mean, again, this is coming down, this is a total other rabbit hole, but again, put it this way, all these things have happened to me because it was literal, I've been getting trained up to be a powerful shaman, empowering other people and counselor and all the hypnotherapy, all the different things that I do, right? It was all training from a very early age, like teenager, but I would say even before that, with lots of different things that I help people with, right? That I'm not kidding you. I nearly took a manager of mine to a tribunal at the age of 19, guys. Think about how young that is, right? And it was because she was bullying everyone. It probably still is for all I fucking know, but I don't want to pull her energy in. But seriously, and just somebody that got away with fucking everything, fucking symbolic of like daylight fucking robbery, put it that way, and fucking, you know, and just evoked so much strong emotion in me for how evil this person was. And sadly, I could then channel about another manager that I had that was the same, just so manipulative and evil, and particularly, and this is interesting, with young people. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there was one woman, and you know, I'm being funny, but this is, remember, I worked in nurseries for 20 years, so you fucking do the math. But well, wait a minute, not 20 years, because anyway, maybe like 15 years or on it. But anyway, I've worked in things like this on and off, but it's very common in nurseries of all places that because there's a lot of, like, what I'm basically meaning is I've worked with a lot of women bosses, that older women that like befriend the other nursery nurses that work there that are quite young, and they can't see how toxic it is, that they've been manipulated by this person. And it's just, yeah, really, really abusive. And it's horrible when that's people that are looking after fucking children, but it does happen. And so there was many nurseries that I worked in that it was like I was a fucking lawyer. Like, I was just forever fucking fighting these things and that, and it just got draining, right to the point where it's interesting that I got flashed up about something and I didn't say it. But yeah, like, I think I told that story once before, that I remember I was like talking about, again, because there aren't many of these stories, because I really just haven't done it. I can really count on one hand when I've ever engaged in kind of texting back and forward with a guy. You might think I'm talking shit, but I'm honestly to God, on anybody that knows me, that whether they're still in my life or not, well, if they're telling the fucking truth, they'll tell you that it's like that. I've got Saturn and Scorpio in the first house. Like, I'm not about that life. Like, I don't like that. I just don't like it. Like, you know, I didn't even do that in my twin flame, actually. That was more kind of like, you know, the fucking call at the end of the night or the but it was just kind of like, it's too intimate and too intense for me. I only want to do that back and forth with somebody that I really like and that I trust. And but what they did do is they threw me a few tests. And anyway, long story short, long time ago, I remember I was talking back and forth with this guy at one point, and there was a whole load of shit going on at my work. And I was just really overly involved in it. I was getting too involved, and I was protecting a lot of the younger girls that I worked with. And I was making the mistake of like, just again, I now know that this is ADHD. It makes me laugh actually. When I was just like being so like just too much, do you know what I mean? And just kind of like, just being like I've got a lot of stuff going on. I was really stressed out. But it was clearly just my guide's way of being like, we'll let you entertain this for only so long, and now we're fucking thrown in the tower moment, and you're not getting to take this any further. But yeah, I'm just sort of, that kind of ties into what I said about earlier, that it's like, don't take on too much stress. I suppose that's what the message is that I used to take on far too much stress. But it's because I'm a social justice warrior. You know what I mean? I'm an Aries with a Scorpio rising, Sag moon. You can't get any more about the truth if you tried. And it's the dark truth in me. Do you know what I mean? It's like, if people are doing things like controlling, manipulative fuckery, they need to be, karma needs to get them eventually. So even with that other woman that was channeling about, the last I heard, it's like that woman just kept fucking getting away with fucking everything. But karma will catch that woman at some point as well. And like I said, I just really kind of want to get the stage now, because all these people are the fucking lowest of the low. So, but even they can, like, redeem themselves somehow, but probably in the next life, because like I said, but you see, that's very the dark side of Scorpio. Mind games, manipulative, toxic. Fucking hell, man. Right, so cleanse all that energy though. It's meaningful to someone out there, but right. Narcissists. A lot of my bosses were outright fucking narcissists. That's basically the point. Don't look at him when he speaks. Keep your face straight and don't say hardly anything. Keep doing this. He may flare up, but keep going. He knows what you're doing. Maintain your power. I would suggest looking for a new job. Yeah, well, basically, I'm more in line with what Brianna's saying. Like, that's what I was getting at, is when it's something like that, like, because that's why I started saying that because again, if you're new to me, listen, I'm not just telling these random stories. There's a meaning in it for you if you're getting it. That it's like, it ended up, that woman was so terrible that although I was in the right and I stood up for people, she ended up driving me out of the job, because it was just too much to take mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically. Then it fucking went down the toilet anyway. But like, and that's what always happens. I'm like Nanny McPhee. If something is meant to sink, I'll probably be there right before it sinks, because again, I'm a soul midwife as well. That's part of my shamanic work. Yeah, it's very difficult when there's like, especially when I've been in places where it's like the person that's doing the bullying is either the actual boss, like what you're saying, or they're in cahoots with the boss. You're fucked. Get out of there. It's not worth your mental health. Do you know what I mean? You can't control others, but you can control what you're in control of, and the options you have and what you decide to do, unless you're wanting to take it to legal matters, but take care of you. Exactly. And so that's really in line with what I'm saying. So what Tina says, right, is, you can try all that, but it's too fucking draining. I've done it all, and it's like, do you think they're wanting rid of me? Again, these are questions that it's like, it's, what's yours feeling? Before, please don't anyone answer. This is where I like people to hold space, right? What is yours feeling on that? I want to see what your feeling is on that. Because my feeling is, does it matter whether they want rid of you or not? Is it worth being bullied? I don't know if bullied is too strong, but I mean, if you're saying he's abusive, do you know what I mean? And yes, you matter, like, but I'm just going to finish what I'm reading for the collective, and if you want a personal message, I will actually, do you know, because I'm saying it to you now, I'll just do it now. So I don't work around questions. I work around seeing what comes up. I feel that they think I'm good and are jealous. Oh, fuck, right. You've definitely been led to the right place because this is what I've fucking faced my whole entire life. Even with those stories that I'm saying, those women that I'm talking about that bullied, it wasn't really so much me in those cases. I mean, they did fucking bully me too, but it was like, they bullied everyone else and I used to stand up to them. So then they'd fucking come down on me worse. Oh, fuck it. Again, I faced that my whole fucking life. No, you're not interrupting. Don't worry. Everything's part of it. You've been led here for a reason. I just have to, by the way, that if you saw my boundaries, I just have to feel into things when new people show up, if I get it, because it's like there's just so many people coming on that are basically AI bots. So sorry for that. And again, even sometimes some of them might feel me too, but anyway, it's all part of it. But yeah, don't worry at all, because it's actually, if you think about it, it's very in line, because me talking about 50 Shades of Grey, I've just said it again. That keeps happening for a reason, right? So that is going to speak to some people as well that bat for the other team or whatever, but that's the second time now. So 7 of Autumn, have patience and don't worry. Take time to rest and plan your next steps. A prudent investment of time or money. What I'm getting from that, right, is it's like you've invested time and energy and money to get into, what I mean? It's like what you said, it was in retail, but it's like you've invested time being in this job. And I'd imagine, like, do you enjoy your job? If you're good at it, all people that are good in their job don't actually. I can think of loads of people that are fucking brilliant at their job, but they hate their job. So, I mean, do you enjoy your job? That's what I want to ask. Do you enjoy your job? Yeah, just now, Brianna, remember, just like everybody, just hold because it's like, just for now, just when I'm tuning into this, because then I start reading your comments and it pulls me away from, but it looks probably like what you've said. What you've said is going to make sense, but so we'll read it. But just for now, that you might have done that before I said that, because there's a bit of a delay, but I just want to see what Antoinette says, because the whole point is, right, is that the reason why I say for people to hold space, and you'll notice even I hold back before I say something as well, is that it's important what you want to do. So we could all give you the best of the best advice with what has happened to us, but I'm interested in these questions like, do you still enjoy your job? Do you want to be there? And, because we don't want you to be driven out of somewhere we enjoy. But so I just want to kind of get a gauge and feel into that's relevant. I would focus on if you're happy or not there, and whether you can stand living and dealing with those conditions moving forward, knowing it will more than likely remain that way. Yeah, exactly. So again, it's totally like, so anyway, that's, Brianna was meant to say that because that's exactly in line with what I'm saying. But just this now, girls, hold. Yes, I'm good at the job and you enjoy it. So can I just ask, this is the thing, you've got to break it down into steps, right? So, because I just feel everything that Brianna's just said is just true there as well. It's like, for me, it is just when I think about the reason why I was talking about those past situations is, think about it, I was 19, I was about to take someone to tribunal. Fuck that, man. Do you know what I mean? Let somebody else deal with the bullying C word. Do you know what I mean? It's like, some things are just not fucking worth it. Again, it reminds me of my counselling course as well. If you know, I'm going to write a book about that, so I won't go on about it again, but most people know, that there was a complete injustice there. I'll allow that too, Tina, but ladies, what is it with the boundaries tonight? When it's like, is this delayed messages or are people just ignoring what I'm saying? But yes, you deserve to be in a place that respects you. It's because I really want to, are these comments slow? I'm going to assume that the comments are slow because the messages are coming in after I'm saying, please, nobody else speak just for just now. I don't usually, but it's just so that I can. I get it everywhere I go. You're definitely one of my fucking soul family, because so do I. This is why I do what I do now. Because it's like I'm in my own fucking lane. Like, there might be people that are trying to compete with me, but I don't fucking know about them if they are. Do you know what I mean? Because it's like I grow that slow and everything. But I get jealousy. I can't stop the jealousy. Do you know what I mean? And people try to be nippy and shit like that. But So it's difficult, isn't it? Because in one way, if you're thinking, well, I get it everywhere I go, if it's not here, it's, and actually, I bet everyone in the live stream, I bet you're that person too. In fact, I know for a fact that Brianna would definitely, that's why you'll be feeling it that strong. Tina, I don't know if you feel like you get that too, probably being an Aries. People tend to take a dislike to people that are confident. Without actually realizing what it took to get that confident, because like I say, I've not always been like this. True, I think differently. So you've just found me tonight, right? Do you know what I want you to do, right? If you feel guided, again, just again, this is what I mean. Like all this, anything that I'm saying or anyone else, you just take the bits that feel, resonate with you. But I feel like what would be really good for you is obviously, like I said, if you feel like you resonate with me, like I would love to help you in a personal session, but you've just found me. So usually it takes a while to, nurture and someday want to be drawn to you. But I've got a shamanic journey. It's called, well, actually, it's the one that's pinned to the top of the channel. And it's like basically escaping karmic situations. But what I mean by that is, if you listen to that shamanic journey, and you'll more than likely fall asleep because it's hypnosis as well, right? I'm not necessarily meaning that you're going to listen to that and then it'll help you leave the job, but I think it will help you drown out the noise of everybody else. And like it'll help you work out whether it's worth staying in that job, because everything that the other people in the chat and what I'm saying is bits and bobs of this, is it all, it's all good stuff that's coming through here, but it's about, I feel that will help really clear the darker energy that's around you and help bring back, again, this is what I mean. It doesn't need to do my fucking bank balance any good when I always lead people to the free stuff, because it means there's a lot of people that just rely on all the free stuff and they never book a session. Like, true, that is true for quite a lot of people. But I believe in divine timing, and so I know that the right people come to me, but like I say, it isn't even nearly enough people. But in this case, because you're new to me, and I really do feel that if you listen to that, and when I say really do feel, it's comes really strong, that's what I've done it for. If you listen to that journey, it will help you just get out of that feeling like, you're trapped or you're stuck in this toxic situation, because that is toxic. Like, you're getting feelings like that because you're good at what you do and people are jealous of you. It's horrible. There's nothing to be sorry about. There's nothing to be sorry about. But yeah, could you do that? Like, do you know what I mean? So you go on to the playlist on the channel that says, not now, like just after this or tonight, whenever you go to bed. Where are you from? What country are you from? It's if you watch that video that's pinned to the top of the channel, or it's in the playlist, and it's called, what is it called? It's something about karmic situations. And it will, like I'm saying, it will help you just clear away the heaviness of that situation. And it may be that you don't need to leave the job at all. And you might find that the other people that are caught, who knows? This is more happened in personal sessions where I've done a session with someone. Like there was one woman that she was getting bullied at her work. And again, it was the same situation. She was really good at her job and she was in a place of power though. So she was the boss, but she was getting bullied, ironically. And we done the shamanic journey, and basically we pulled back her power. And I'm not even kidding you. The next day she had a big important meeting and it was online. And what ended up happening was all the people changed their energy towards her because I had helped her. Oh, Glasgow, oh, lovely. Another fellow Scot. We'd helped her get her power back that much that their whole energy. All right, it's delayed messages, way delayed. Right, okay, thank you, Brianna. It is way delayed, isn't it? If you're only saying that now, that makes sense, because I'm like, why are people's comments still coming? So thank you, ladies. So thank you for, see what I mean? And see, hopefully people are learning from that as well, like me as well, that it's like, I was like, wait a minute, this is a bit weird. Why are they still commenting when I've said not to? Because I know that it's like, people around here would respect me when I say that, because I don't say that a lot. It's just with some deep stuff like that. Yeah, we stopped. I know. See, like, no, I'm only getting it. We stopped way before you said to stop. So see what I mean? It's like, never mind. So this is where we transmute it with humor. But this is a lesson for people that you see how I could have got really fucking ratty and been like, and again, I was getting, I was getting a bit kind of like, it was, I was getting a kind of something, but then, my intuition was telling me, wait a minute though, there's a delay. So you see how that can be, there's something in this for someone. You can perceive something one way that people are not listening to what you've asked for, but actually they have, and there's a delay and there's a confusion. Wow, that's really deep, but you know what I'm saying? It's like, this is what shamanic healing is all about. There's always a lesson. Like, even like seriously, whenever you choose to, if anyone ever chooses to go on the true shamanic path, like being in shamanic groups and going through all the deep initiations, I wouldn't want to do it again, put it that way. It's you come up with some really fucking dark situations. I'm being, I can't go into detail there, but all I'm going to say is, generally speaking, everybody, you see the real and remember, Scorpio moon is a shadow. People's shadows can't hide. There's on in shamanic training, there's specific things that will be devoted to the shadow alone, and it's very commonly known that it's the one that a lot of people bow out of. So say there's like 20 people or 15 people in a shamanic wave of people that are going through training. It's very common that half of those people won't turn up because they can't handle it. So it's again, it's like, do you know what I mean? Whereas I've stood the ground and I've been in it, and can I even say that whether it's shamanic groups or mediumship circles or any kind of spiritual thing like that, or online things, like I was in online things during the pandemic and that helped me to a certain extent, until it started being like that too, where it was like other people in the soul family kind of started being very jealous of me and my gift, or when I was channeling about twin flames, or it's again, everybody's got a shadow, so you've got to check it, you know what I mean? But the whole point is your shadow can be your best friend, because to get back to the, sorry, I'm going to do more cards for you, Antoinette, but it's Antoinette as well. Is that not like, what's that thing again? Mary of Antoinette, something just came to me with that. Yeah, with that woman, she was just a lovely, beautiful, timid woman, and which she still will be. I don't think she tunes into the channel anymore. I don't feel she does. But yeah, people didn't fuck with her after that, because I taught her how to hold her own and be empowered. Yeah, and the people changed their energy towards her. Do you know what I mean? So it's fucking amazing. So again, like what I said earlier on the live earlier on the day, I described about a wee child that was being bullied, one of the soul family's children that I was doing work with. And after we done I changed it up for the kids. It was like a healing meditation, that basically, that kid got his power back. And yeah, he's fucking best pals with the bully now. He was away at his party. Okay, I'll share that review again. I don't know where it is on my phone, but it was fucking brilliant, man. So there's amazing turnarounds that can come about in these situations, but to focus in. So basically, yeah, what I want you to do, Antoinette, is at some point and it might not even be tonight, just when it comes back to you, but it would be really good if you do it tonight, right? Because it's Scorpio moon. Please watch that video when you go to sleep tonight. So, you're in Glasgow, yeah. So please watch that video tonight, and then just ask you, come back and let me know what happens. And it's usually 3 weeks from the day. So we'll check in 3 weeks from today. Guys, let's keep track of this. So it's 1, 2, 3. So on the 10th of October, right? If I don't remember, please one of you remember. We're going to check in with Antoinette if you want to come back and tell us. And just, again, you don't need to come back feeling like you need to come back with a big success story. I'm just holding space that something works out in your highest good. Anyway, and like I said, if you come up against any more trouble like that, you or anyone else that resonates, you really need to book a personal session, because that's where it can help you in the way that's going to serve the situation the best. But I just want to, because look, right, so this is, remember, I've stopped to say all of that in between doing your cards, Antoinette. Set aside your concerns for now. You can make a decision later. Solutions that come from a meditation. Surely I don't need to explain that after what I've just said. The need for more sleep or a vacation. And remember, I said people do fall asleep during these things. Four of Swords is about healing and exhaustion. The video, sorry, my brain is affected. No, don't worry. It's that's what I started looking, wasn't it? It's pinned to the channel, right? So see when you go on the channel. And by the way, ladies, do you know what I mean? It's just that bit. It was just while I was tapping into her energy. I think I might be doing that a wee bit more recently, you know what I mean? Because it's like I have noticed that it's like just because the severity that because when I get pulled away, like it pulls me out of tuning into the person. Where the fuck? What am I looking for here? Playlist or something? It's because YouTube have changed the layout here, right? And I'm going to go soon. Yeah, so it's this playlist here. Meditations, healing it. Wait a minute, I'll just share it on here. That's what I'll do. So it was in a Scorpio moon that I channeled it. I was in my badass vibes. And it's a long one. So like I said, you will fall asleep, but that's good. That means you're it'll go into your subconscious deeper. So there, that's the shamanic journey. Okay. So you're very welcome. But like I said, this one's about healing. And yeah, and then look, I've just cut the deck, and I feel this really ties in beautifully with everything that the girls have said and what I've been channeling through from spirit. Listen to your heart. And that's why I said, what is it that you feel? Intuitive insights you can trust. Taking care of others, perhaps too much. Now, I know you were talking about work, but have you got any kind of love, random stuff going on? Because this is a channel about twin flames, because I've just pulled the Two of Cups, the true love card. Falling in love or making a serious commitment to someone, forgiveness and the resolution of a problem. Although in this case, it could be that. It could be that there's a turnaround in your work situation. Don't give up. Your relationship can be healed. Maybe that could be your relationship with your boss could be healed. I'm tempted to make some jokes after the film that I was channeling about earlier, because in one of those films, he actually becomes her boss. He's certainly the fucking daddy in other ways, isn't he? But sorry, that was too far. I can't stand that kind of shit when people. I mean, I'm just like each to their own, but it's like that. What is that all about, man? Do you know what I mean? Keep the labels separate in that case. Anyway, right. So, right. Let's read the. Oh yeah. So I think I started. So let's get back to this. So what is so? Men don't really like me. Antoinette, I would love to help you in a one-to-one session, because what is this all about? What star sign are you? You're not an Aries, are you? Because men can be very intimidated by Aries women, because Aries is masculine energy and it's just very strong and fierce. I mean, look at the way Tina was talking about what she was saying, and look the way I was talking about fucking when I was channeling about 50 Shades of Grey. I mean, it's a film, it's characters, but it's because there are really people out there. And because I help people escape from really toxic, horrible folk out there, it's like, you know, it does, but you can't, even with that, with everything that I'm saying, oh, we've gained another subscriber too. We cannot let these people win. And if you allow yourself to go too much into that energy, it's kind of like, you know, with the obvious one with like twin flames with karmic partners and that, like, don't make them the enemy, because they're a part of the story. Just like in films, they're a part of the film. And hurt people, but it doesn't mean you become fucking best friends with the person that's caused all the damage. You know what I mean? but kind of reminds me, like, you know, there are other sorts of films I can think of where, like I said, there are the person that's causing all the damage can actually see the damage that they've caused, and they can change. So that's why I like the whole space for miracles. I'm too yeah, I knew it. Are you you might not be an Aries, but you're certainly fucking sounding like one. I'm too confident and strong. I hate men telling me what to do. Fucking hear you there, sister. I hear you. Again, I think that is a very, 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 well, that's definitely one of the reasons why it's taken me a long time to attract my twin flame back to me. Put it that way. We need to meet somewhere in the middle. Do you know what I mean? It's like, because it is like I said, I'm going to say it again, but lots of parts of that film with their dynamic reminds me of, yeah, because it's like, It's to do with Scorpio. Anyway, I know why it is. I actually know why it is with me and mine's charts. It's Pluto. It's all to do with Pluto. It's like, because Pluto is about power. And it's like, well, it's dangerous, yeah. If you don't actually, basically, right, I know with my chart, and I know from what my feeling is on it, with who I know who my twin flame is, it's as long as you have an open and honest discussion about the unspoken, because Pluto is secrets and everything, the power imbalance will be fine. And actually, like I said, it would just be like, it would be like, yeah, it's like why I'm channeling 50 Shades of Grey. It'd be a really fucking hot couple. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, I mean, hot in the sense of like, well, yeah, they are hot too, but I'm talking about if you resonate with these Plutonian sort of connections, which, like I said, is absolutely what my twin flame connection is. And that'd be no different in the physical. You know, you'd just be like, I'd have more stuff and stuff. Well, I'd have more stuff to sort of change up the work a little bit, because it'd just be, like you said, it's just interesting the dynamics. It's when it's hidden. It's like when it's not spoken about, and that is the frustration, I think, when you're divine feminine, is it's like I've got no desire to be one of these women that has somebody under the thumb, or that wants to control somebody, or I cannot stand mind games. Like, fucking stay the fuck away with me. Stay the fuck away from me with your mind game. Like, I can't stand that, whether it's in love or any other fucking part of life. Fuck off. Because everyone plays mind games in life, and I can't stand it. That's why I don't spend a lot of time around people. Do you know what I'm saying? And because I untangle this stuff all the time. But if you're not careful, you can get pulled into doing that too, which I feel is part of the anyway, this is going really too deep here, but I get what they're saying. It's like, bring it out, bring what's in the dark into the light and transmute it, and it won't be. So if you are in a very Plutonian Scorpio kind of energy twin flame connection, whether it's like you're not physically in union with them yet, or because you still feel it with energy, it's the best thing that you can do is integrate your shadow, which a shaman would help you do that, or do the shadow work. But I would also advise getting an actual shaman to help you with that, which is what I help people do, and it'll be the best thing you ever done with your life. And especially if you have got really intense connections like that, because I've said it before, but I really do feel, because I never ever argued with my twin flame, but it was always very intense, and whenever we did come close to an argument, I could tell it wouldn't be pretty. He would just always really sort of, it would usually be me kind of like, it was always through drink, so it's bad examples, but yeah, it's just basically, it is to do with what I'm saying. It's the power thing with twin flames. Anyway, so it makes sense to someone. I feel so much regret for everything I've said and done. Look how that fits with what I was saying. And I can't face you right now, which fits in with what I was saying about it's not the right time for folk. I don't want this to be over with us. And I can't get you out of my head. Yeah. So that's going to make sense to someone. I pretend I don't care because I care too much. Again, that's a power imbalance. And look at this with what you're saying. You're very intimidating. But I say it all the time. But again, can we please fucking stop going into my one? You're adding another couple of years on to when my one's going to fucking say hi, let alone anything else. That's definitely, my one's very intimidated by me. Very. And I'm actually very intimidated by him. And it's, or was, I wouldn't know it. No, you know what I mean? Just but really, if you just break down that illusion, things would be fine. You know what I mean? But that only is allowed to happen in divine time. Right. So that's just for, I'm really fucking taking one for the team here. That's a very not a good phrase to take, but in the sense of, I feel there's other people that are really going to resonate with how strong a twin flame connection that you've got. So thank you, and fuck you very much, Scorpio Moon, for making me channel all that. I think I'm quite intelligent and I see through the bullshit. Like, hello, are you just another version of me out there? So are you on the you must be on the this happens every now and again, and I love it when it happens. Do you want to tell us about your love life? Are you, do you know what twin flames are? Because you've found yourself on a twin flame channel, and I help twin flames. That's why I'm talking about the intense love stuff here. Because that's exactly like me. Like I said, I left school with no qualifications, and then I even went to college and left school with no I left there with no qualifications, and then but then I somehow got into some of the world's top universities, and yeah, and when I've done intelligence tests and that, I'm off the fucking Richter scale with some of these things, even though I was putting all the stupid, the classes where they think you're stupid in that at school, because I didn't talk, so they assumed I was stupid. So that's how fucking inverted and back to front and fucked up this world is. But do you know what twin flames are, though? Do you feel like you resonate with that energy? Like, sorry, I'm firing I'm firing all these questions at you. It's just, what I'm saying is I am open to the fact that people will start being attracted to this channel. And I've said I do feel that will happen at some point, where people will be led here that aren't twin flames. And I'm not counting there's definitely people that lurk on this channel that aren't twin flames, that are karmic people to do with me, or to do with, well, use, you know what I mean, or anyone else connected to me. And like I said, I'm always open for those lurking karmic people to learn from me. It's weird, isn't it? But I am. And like, I truly wish nobody any harm. I just wish you healing, like, seriously, because these are the people that really need it. But most of the time, people that, I'd say all of the time, anybody that randomly finds himself on here, they've always turned out to be in fact, remember let's call her in, the last Scorpio moon that I ended up really helping someone quite deeply with it was a really challenging situation like this, but it wasn't the same theme. It was a Scorpio moon. And she just randomly found herself on here, and she definitely was fitting the twin flame thing. It's non-existent. Yeah, wait a minute. You're definitely not stupid. I know what twin flames are. I've had connections with men, but not matched to my frequency recently. Really, yeah. So that's what I mean. You strike me as so do you feel you're the divine feminine or the divine masculine? Because most of the, I should just record this and play it whenever anyone new comes on. Is they should do that, like a voice note thing with me. Maybe that's something that I'm foreseeing that they're going to have. But it's like, let's play this for the new people. But most of the twin flames that are drawn to me, it's women. Not all women, because there's some guys that talk. By the way, can I, on that note, Nathan says that every time he tries to comment, I'm going to check my emails, it doesn't let him comment. So I wonder if, I think I'll have to do that when I'm off. But I wonder if like, you know what I mean? Like, I wonder if someone's accidentally blocked him or something, or like, I mean, it's a wee bit, it's like, because I love when like, fucking David would be loving this shit. He probably is energetically watching it, but YouTube are up to funny stuff there. But if anyone else is having that, go and email me and let me know at the soulfamwolfpack@gmail.com to let me know, because Nathan's, that's several times I've been live. You obviously haven't been live for 2 weeks, but, and he hasn't been able to comment. So I don't know what the fucking hell that's all about. And I'm really missing you, Nathan. But yeah, most of the women that get led to here are they resonate with the messages for divine masculines for either their past or their present, or their future. But I do attract some divine. Oh, it didn't let me comment at the start, but it does now. Oh, thanks for letting me know that, Antoinette. Oh, maybe there's a delay on new people, but Nathan's not new. Because sometimes, I'm not set that though. Sometimes you can have a setting where if you've just joined the channel, you can't comment for 20 minutes. It's to avoid spam. But I don't think I've got that setting on. But I don't know what the hell's happening to Nathan. But anyway, you might be watching this, but you just can't comment. And actually, see, the last time I was live before today and I had my hair up, Nathan had, emailed me, and he was saying that he was trying to comment saying that I looked beautiful that day with my hair up. So thank you, Nathan. Thank you. It's nice to hear compliments from a male, although that you're all about Margaret and you're the divine feminine. Thank you. But yeah, anyway. Right. So let me check my, and it's 2112 twin flamey sort of stuff there. Oh my god, I'm by the way, I'm being hit with a shitload of synchronicities right now for myself. Let's see. every time I comment on the live, it looks like it wrote down. Then when I go out of it, it disappears. That's really interesting because I commented on someone's video the other day, and I don't, I really don't do that a lot. Like that's part of when I get sort of, I only do it when I feel really strongly like they're guiding me to do it. Because they basically do. I wouldn't say hide because again, if you ever do see me kicking about, you're like, that's clear. Don't, just keep it yourself, right? But it's, but yeah, I've done it. So I kind of know what you're meaning. It wasn't a live stream, it was a comment. So I don't know, that is weird because it was a really nice comment I left someone, but it's disappeared. Oh, I don't know. That's really annoying. Nathan, go and email me right now if you're on it, if you're watching this. I don't know how to fix that. I'll try and go into the settings and I mean, you know what? You could try and fucking, I don't know, Twitter or X, whatever the fucking hell it is, YouTube and ask, or maybe I'll Google it and see what's happening because that's really annoying. The only thing I can think is maybe someone has hit the spanner thing and done it by accident or something. Fuck knows. But it'll mean something. Whenever this happens, it means something. But Spirit, could you please free Nathan? See, because that's like the sword's been trapped. It's like Nathan took a long time to speak up on here. Years. He's one of the longest subscribers. And then he started talking. And he's always one of the main we always get in a big deep conversation, especially on a Scorpio moon. So why the fuck are you keeping Nathan away from us? Free him. Right. Right, I'm going to read the owl, which is not a coincidence, is about being able to see in the dark. So, but yeah, Antoinette, can I just, before I read this card, right, because then I will go after that, I have updates for you too. I need to email you. I'm terrible for updating. I'm always on the go. Yeah, no, absolutely email me because I know I say this all the time, but I'm being serious. Like I was yesterday, you were really strongly in my mind and my heart, and I was just like, I wonder how Brianna is. So I'm glad you popped on today. So yeah, definitely email me. But yeah, Antoinette, is there anyone in your life that you feel, so I'm getting the vibe that, you do, so do you feel you're maybe one of the twin flames that it's like you're, by the way, I know this might be a weird connection to make, but I kind of feel like when I was talking about the purity of the character in 50 Shades of Grey and all that, and celibacy and everything, like I'm not saying that like all these things are relevant to you, but it's like I'm kind of wondering if you're one of the twin flames where it's like you have been kept away from like basically toxic men, because that's, if you think about it, I've actually told a few stories like that tonight. Like maybe toxic's a bit harsh for some people, but some of the stories I was like, even some of the ones that were shown clairvoyantly that I didn't say, but that's basically what I channel about all the time, is that I have, other than my karmic romantic one, no other toxic men were really ever got very near to me. Like, well, I don't really will go too deep into what I mean by that, but I mean like intimately, as in like they weren't allowed to, like they definitely weren't allowed to be my boyfriend because I've been single for 20 years. And that, again, that's, so I really am a true divine feminine of quite a rare breed, I would say. And I mean, to stay with me on this, with what I mean by that is I feel that is quite rare, like that, because I catch other divine feminines talking about things like this where they're in and out of relationships, or they've had, other karmic relationships, other than the twin flame and all that, and that just isn't my story. Like the stories that are the ones that I say, that it's like literally guys have just not been allowed to get near me, and I feel it's just because of how big my calling is with what I'm here to do for the twin flames. Sorry, I thought that was a unicorn. It's a goat. But goat means the greatest of the, wait a minute, Brianna, you'll know, you're down with the kids. Greatest of, is it not greatest of all them? That's what goat means. So Antoinette, you need to be fucking telling yourself the reason why you not got a man is because you're the fucking best of the creme de la creme. They can't fucking reach you. That's why they're trying to give you shit. Do you know what I mean? And did you see the unicorn chat earlier? Because that's hilarious synchronicity if you didn't. You can't have seen this. Did you find me through the unicorn? I posted a... Wait a minute, it's still here. Wait, look, it's here. I found this on the beach earlier. Because I'm a medium as well, and I find physical things from spirit. This is manifesting the unions. So it's okay. I'm intimidating too. It's a good thing for the right one. The right one can handle it exactly. The ones that can't just shove some out the way. Bye. I act the goat. Thanks. Yeah, exactly. We're all the goats of the good kind. You know what I'm saying? And the thing is, you know, that is true what Brianna said. And sometimes it can just take the right one a while to grow into being the one that can handle it. Do you know what I mean? So that's what I think we've got to be careful not to, because again, that totally applies to me. Like you've said, it's like, you know, my twin flame's like, well, just a beautiful man in all senses of the word. Do you know what I mean? But he's certainly no fucking angel, and he's annoyed the fuck out of me. Like, you know, so, and as I'm sure I will be ignoring the fuck out of him right now this very second. So it's, or, you know what I mean? Like, even if he doesn't watch it, he could be feeling me fucking saying shit about. But it's, oh my God, that's fucking, I tell you, see when you do this shit, like, I just felt the heat. I just felt the biggest bit of heat on my heart ever. So I don't know what that means. I don't know whether that's like, it's okay, or I'll have words with you about that later. I don't know. But yeah. Right. I'm also super sweet, just very respectful, and hold my standards high. Again, yeah, I mean, that's just describing me too. But again, we are very similar, because this is my past life daughter. So there's a guy that comes into my work to talk to me, but he gives me the creeps. Why does he give you the creeps though? But again, this clearly isn't the twin flame, because if he gives you the creeps, then act the goat, love that. Yeah, greatest of them all. But why is it goat if it's greatest of, like, greatest of all of them? It must be, but fuck knows. So yeah, so basically, Antoinette, before I move, is there nobody on your radar that, is there like nobody from your past, like years ago? Like, again, remember, twin flames can be like, you know, involved with other people and all that. You know what I mean? It's like, it could be someone like that you've known like years and years ago, and like they're very unhappily married. By the way, this would be so strange if I'm channeling your exact situation. This happens from time to time. But like, it could be somebody that's like in a very unhappy relationship, or even a marriage, and like got a couple of kids and that, but they're like, you know, daydreaming, logging off, like, you know, while they're fucking sitting watching EastEnders, like, you know, and you're I was about to say, if you're American, you won't know what I'm talking about, but you know, they could be fucking sitting miserable, staring out the window, thinking about you. Is there nobody like that kicking about? I think he sells CBD oil and other things, and I don't want to get involved with. Well, we won't hold that against him, because these things can help people. But can you see who's viewing us now to see if Nathan's here? No, like I what do you mean? Can you see who's viewing us now? No, like I can't, like, basically it doesn't tell me that. Do you know what I mean? Or that'd fucking scare the shit out of some folk, Tina, if they could. Because Facebook and Instagram tells you who's watching, but YouTube doesn't yet, but they probably will start doing that, which I think would be a real shame, because, like, you know, there are people that just genuinely are very shy and all that stuff. But no, like, other than if Nathan, but thanks for saying that, because he might have emailed again. Oh yeah, wait a minute. Oh, he unsubscribed and subscribed. Clever Nathan. I wonder if that will have made any difference. I can't see. Yeah, Nathan mustn't be watching just now, so he's not emailed, so that's annoying. I thought you were leaving it. Only if I wasn't having fun. I've gotten into the Scorpio moon stuff, helping Antoinette here. Anyway, we can dig into this another time, but I'm just sort of saying, usually people have been led here for more than just the help with the other parts of life. Is there anyone in your life that something ended on a sour note with or something that, and then, you know, sometimes due to low self-confidence, you might just assume they wouldn't ever think of you again. That kind of now sounds like divine masculine energies, regardless of gender. Like I've definitely worked with women that tune in here that they had very strong feelings for their twin flame who didn't know that that's who it was. And it was only later on. And again, a lot of the time it's when people actually come across me, because I awaken people, you know, not everyone, but I awaken a lot of people that get led to hear that they're even a twin flame in the first place. Which is what might be happening here tonight. But again, you may have felt that did you feel you were one? Antoinette, like, have you always felt like you were a twin flame? Is it because obviously you knew what it was? But anyway, yeah, there's something just kind of feeling like that kind of vibe of I'm being shown clairvoyantly someone that I work with. It was that. It was like, you know, it was only when we done a bit of it on a personal session and we're really feeling into it. And the memories came back of the strong feelings that she had for this person that and yeah, she just assumed that that person would have moved on with their life. Yeah, like it was my type in work, but it didn't come to anything. I don't know. Okay, well, I would say that's probably sounding like that is. I don't know about the extra things or drugs, not sure about what do they call that drug? That helps people though. It helps people get to sleep in that. So your twin flame saying, whoever he is, Baby or anybody else, will you ever forgive me? So, I mean, it doesn't sound like you had beef with him or anything, but I've been learning a lot about spirituality. I love that you accidentally put up a goat, I know, but he was manipulative too. Well, I know, but everyone can be manipulative, Antoinette. So it's like, you know what I mean? That's what the shadow side is. Like, you know, we can all be manipulative basically, and people are taught to be, you know what I mean? It's like unconsciously. So, but what do you mean by that? It depends what you mean by that. I can't face you right now. This is just getting too deep. It's not going to make any sense. I just need to get the fuck off here. Right. Okay. So let's just read this card and I'll go. So the owl, 39. Oh dear. Right. So, right. So let's just park that for now. Okay. So, but I would say if you're ever led to have a personal session, I would love to, wait a minute, I do just want to use this deck too. I would love to, I have always loved you and always will. I pretended not to love you, but I did and still do. So who the hell was this guy that you're talking about? I think there was something, I think there was some serious feelings going on there. Being apart has been more difficult than I could accept. Again, I miss your beautiful smile and joyous laugh. They used to light up my world. Yeah, I'm feeling something with this. I'm feeling something because it's like, you know, if you think about it, if you're at work every day with someone and this person, you know, is reminiscing, like, I miss, you know, your smile and your laugh. And it used to, like, you know, I think you brought a lot of joy to this person's day. And maybe it's like they just didn't realize. Did anything romantic ever sort of happen with you? Kind of feels like that might be that kind of both liking each other at the same time and not doing anything about it. That's definitely what I'm feeling. So let me know if that resonates, because I'm there's, yeah, anyway, right, so there's just something, there's something in this, right? 39. Let's read this card, and then I'm going to go. So no, nothing happened. Yeah, well, anyway, like I said, it's just something to, it feels like if that is the only person that's come back to, if that's the first person that you thought of when I said that, and I awaken people to who their true twin flame is, I'd say that's a pretty big, massive sign. Something to take note of. So I don't know if there's any way of, I really want to know what energy you're in. I don't know, when you were kind of saying it feels like people don't like you, that kind of sounds like a divine masculine energy. Anyway, watch the karmic. Let's not run before we can walk. Watch that karmic journey and let me know how you get on. If you don't want to let me know in here in public, email me. And just let me know how it helps you and stuff, because again, it's soul retrieval, it's a soul retrieval, and over the 3 weeks you'll gain your power back. But again, if that work situation becomes really difficult and you need some support with that, I'd love to help you that. So again, just email about anything that I've said. And right, okay, so let's read this. So again, you never know, this might still sort of answer something that's going on in your life as well, but I'm going to read this and then I think I'm going to go, because this Scorpio moon's just becoming all kinds of intense for lots of different reasons. So, right, so Owl is the master of the night. She can see situations with perfect clarity. So remember, this is one of my gifts, so some people might resonate with this too. More so when it is dark, and is able to discern the truth when others are sightless. That's what I said earlier. She helps you find your light and your lightness in the darkest moments of your life, and to embrace the night as your ally. Owl can bring you messages from the invisible world. She opens your ears so that you may hear the voices of the ancestors, and you may acquire their wisdom and make it your own. And me and Michelle were talking about ancestral wisdom and everything earlier as well. So look around you. Notice every detail of the hidden messages brought to you by Owl. Do not shoot the messenger. Be grateful to the friend who shows you what you have not wanted to see until now. Again, I'm that fucking friend for everyone. Some people fucking hate me at first for helping them to see, but again, I'm not even kidding. Like, not, maybe hate's a bit strong, but maybe not for some folk. Like, because my energy just helps people to see where they're truly not happy, and in darker situations, like, I can think of some people I've worked with where they've literally been in a really unhappy marriage, and through being on my radar, and like I said, the owl medicine that I carry and chart medicine, it's all, and snake medicine, it's all things about being able to really see the truth. You can only run away from that truth for so long, and then you have to face facts that you're in a toxic situation that you don't deserve to be in, and you deserve more. So it's difficult to be that person that like that for people, but I've been that my whole life, whether it be in professional or personal situations. And like I said, in personal situations it's particularly painful, but in work, in these capacities too, it has been as well. But in personal situations, like whenever there's any kind of toxicity or put it that toxicity around anyone, or definitely whenever like people have been involved with narcissists and that, the romantic nature, and historically, I was always able to spot it long before the person themselves, and that was really painful, so, but it's all great training again for me to help people. Yep, I came to you for a healing online and you told me I was a twin flame and I had no idea what it is. Well, thank you for sharing that, Tina. Yeah, and so again, like, that is actually, I don't know if I'm wrong in saying everyone on the chat right now. I might not be wrong in saying that. Who's on here? Yeah, maybe not everyone, but the majority of people. So just to keep people, but yeah, that might actually be the case for. That's kind of weird actually, because it's not the case for everyone that's tuned in the channel. But it's just part of my big purpose. Right. So Look around you, notice every detail, and find the hidden messages brought to you by owl. And actually, Tina, that was that long ago. That was right when I was noticing, like, you know, it was like you and several other women. It was like I was just kind of like, wait a minute, why is it every single person that's coming to me like, and then like it's like, yeah, and that's just been from there on. It was around that kind of time, because it would be, yeah, about the 7-8 years ago or something, that it maybe, yeah, it probably is that time now. 7 years ago, maybe. So, no, if it's been as long as live streamed, it's probably, no, it probably is 7 years, 6 years, maybe 6 years. I don't know, I get all thingy with time. But yeah, if I've had crystal clear visions 8, no, because it's 9 years next year, it probably is like 7 years or something. But yeah, anyway, so look around you, notice every detail, and find the hidden messages brought to you by owl. Do not shoot the messenger, again, which some people have done that with me, but especially if it's in my personal life. But then they later thank me, because then they come out of the, well, being under someone's narcissistic control and being able to see that, shit, yeah, that was a really toxic guy or whatever, or woman, or whatever the situation is. Be grateful to the friend who shows you what you've not wanted to see until now. Observe all the facets of diamonds without judgment. Remember that the facets you dislike are often mirrors of the parts that you do not want to recognize. So again, that's like why you and your twin flame can really that fucking goat emoji is killing me. And I don't say killing me. I'm tuning into your energy, Brianna, because it's like, that's what you say. You always say, like, put the dead emoji when you're laughing, which means laughing. But I just said that. But it's that's you, your twin flame can really trigger you in that way as well. It can bring up strong feelings of love and hate, really. I don't like to say hate when we're talking about twin flame, but it can. Because it's mirroring back things within yourself that you haven't healed yet. But once you've done the brave journey of looking at the parts of yourself that you don't like and why you don't like them, because let's say a lot of the times you don't like yourself. A lot of the people out there, it's like you don't like yourself, or you even hate yourself, or you don't love yourself. Because, you know, even if, for those of you that even, you know, you love yourself now, whether it be through work that you've done with me or anywhere else, or, you know, combination of doing it on your own, it's think about when you didn't feel that way, you know, because I've got unconditional love for myself now, and it just grows stronger and stronger and stronger every day, which is why my boundaries are so strong. But I wasn't always that way, you know. I didn't like myself, I didn't love myself, and that's part of ADHD and all that too, which is what I help people with. And I'm still a tough critic, though. I'm still a tough critic of myself, but I love myself unconditionally, and I'm like, give yourself a break and whatever. But it's that kind of feeling of what I love helping people with is, some people are just so fucking harsh on themselves because it was actually, that's what they had around them growing up, whether it be school or family or, you know, or anybody around you. So anyway, it's going really deep again, but do not be afraid of the truth, as it will become your compass. Love it. Right, okay, so I don't want a weak little boy, I need a man to put me in my place. Right, now we're really fucking channeling into the 50 Shades of Grey. But remember though, right, wait a minute, please don't tell me that's like how delayed this is, because I said that ages ago when I was channeling about are you just sort of saying that because that feels like that was a bit out left field. But if we're going back to the 50 Shades of Grey thing, if you're talking about that character and that kind of, which I do feel will resonate with a lot of people, he's both, because he's a fucking hottest of the hottest. And by the way, I've just realized another synchronicity, because you're saying your person's Jamie, and that's actually the actor's name, you know, that's his real name too. So there's a synchronicity for you. But it's kind of like yeah, he's really like a really hot man, like Christian Grey in the film, and obviously in real life too. But it's kind of like, you can see when you actually watch all the films together, you see how vulnerable he is, and that she saved him. You know what I mean? She teaches him what real love is, and she basically has to reparent him, not in a weird way. It's not like she's the mum, but you know, she has to like be like, look, that's fucking out of order. Like, there's even a bit when it's like, you know, they're in the you know, the red room, and he like, well, again, watch it yourself, but there's a bit when he fucking, you know, he does what I'm saying, you know, he winds her up and the, you know, kind of, you know, fucking getting her going, and then he stops right before the main of, you know, something's about to happen, and it's like, but I'm not even kidding, that's what a karmic would do, and I don't like that bit in the film, and she fucking checks him, but you know what I mean, that's cruel, that's fucking weird, cruel shit. and it's obviously something that the fucking older bird would have done to him. So fuck me. It's just a film, but I swear to God, with the weird shit that happens on here, it's going to speak to somebody somehow. That would be when people are using sex as a tool. Sorry, not as a tool. Don't know where that came from. Sex as a weapon, you know what I mean? Like either like by withholding sex or to just control somebody, and that's just disgusting. Do you know what I mean? It's just fucking toxic. So anyway, anyway, watch the film. You'll see the context around what I'm talking about here. But really, what I would say with what Brianna just said is, yes, if you're a woman that is heterosexual and you're wanting a man, you want a man to protect you and be your best friend and your lover and, you know, take a hold of you in the bedroom and all that kind of, whatever floats your boat kind of thing, right? And same-sex couples, just fucking change the genders and change it all about, fucking whatever I don't care what you do in the bedroom, I don't give a fuck about, right? This is why I don't fucking entertain all the fucking stupid shit that goes on, because that's part of the, we're in Scorpio moon, so let's just call a spade a spade. That's part of the dark agenda, all this fucking stupid labels in between he and she. So I'm not going to fucking partake in it. Sorry, I'm actually probably going to lose some subscribers saying that, but I'm not doing it. I feel it's very polite of me to say whatever you identify with as, right? But I'm not. That's why you don't hear me fucking entertaining pronouns and absolute fucking pish like that. I better have about 40 likes on this video for saying that, because I know there's a lot of you out there that think that. 637 people that are subscribed to this channel right now. Again, it's going to go down after I said that, but it's the fucking truth. I'm just saying what everybody else is thinking. Like I said, I love you whether you're gay, straight, whatever the fucking hell you want to do, but it's just become ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Stop. God, I'm trying to live my granddad right now, but no, it's not. I'm trying to go. It's just, it's true. But what I was saying by that is, you know, within every man, so we're just going to stick with the man thing right now. Within every man, but you could say women too, is a little boy, is a hurt little boy. At some point, every man has had. I mean, I've had conversations with this. Like, well, my dad has to be in the mood, but he's a Scorpio too. But it's like, you know, like I've had deep conversations like this with my dad about, like, you know, I done it the other week there where it was like, I was like, who is it that would have been like that towards you? And, you know, so again, I have to pick my moments, because sometimes it could be like, Claire, like, don't, you know, try that shit at me kind of thing, or whatever, or what are you talking about? But in that moment, I must have picked the right moment, because he was actually kind of like, I was like, you know, and I wouldn't go too deep with that, but it was just kind of like, he was like, I said, would it have been this person? And he was like, no, it would probably have been such and such. And it was what my feeling was. And I was like, right. And it was just a bit, you know, it was kind of being a bit of a counsellor. Sorry, Dad, if you're, I fucking sincerely hope, please God, no. I sincerely hope my dad wasn't fucking lurking on this particular one. But again, let's face it, if he's watching one of them, he's watching them all. So far. That alone could keep my twin flame away, but there wouldn't be any need to, because my dad's that cool that, like you said, as long as a man's going to fucking treat me right, my dad doesn't care. Do you know what I mean? It's just, it's, you know what I mean? It's, well, you know, he absolutely does. He's a Scorpio, but do you know what I'm saying? It's like, as long as I'm happy, he'll be happy. And my dad knows that no man can control me, including him. So it's like, trust me. But it's, yeah, do you know what I'm saying? Within every man, no matter what age, because again, my dad's like late 60s. It's like, again, he thinks he's like late 40s or something, but it's there's an inner child within every adult, is the point. And when if you think about your twin flame like that, there's a reason why earlier on the live stream from earlier, I said when I was doing a lot of ancestral clearing and healing at one point in my life, which was like not too long ago, if you hear what I said earlier, there was bits of me that was, I could feel was I was like I was longing out. I just wanted him. Like, you know, I just want him really a lot of the time, but it was like all the time. But it was like I wanted, particularly with what I was going through, because I could feel that like he was really going to get some of the stuff that I was going through, even if like he literally was nowhere near it at that point that I was going through it. Because I feel you might go through some of this stuff now. But it's you know what I'm saying? It's like, so that's what I would say about that, is that remember that about your twin flame, and remember that about yourself. And actually, really, when it comes to twin flames, you will only really, your twin flame can only come closer to you when you've made peace with these parts of yourself. It's not really deep, we all know this, but again, this is what wanted to come through. So I've known you for about 7 years, and this was about 5 years ago. I think it was longer than 5 years ago, Tina. It was definitely longer than 5 years ago, because 5 years ago would have only been it was at least 6 or 7 years ago, because I'm sure you were, well, yeah, it might be, but I don't think so, because I've been off Facebook for 2 years this November, and it was through Facebook. And I'm sure I spoke to you right when I started noticing the connection. So you weren't like, that was that, if it was only that 5 years ago, that would have been a few years into me knowing that's what, like, it was only that attracted. But yeah, I might be wrong, but Night Dear, I'm sorry I'm a bit exhausted. Sorry. No, that's absolutely fine. Thank you for sharing. And I hope that helped you. And like I said, watch that journey. I'm glad that helped you in some way. And I do just want to pull one more card. Christ, this was a deep one tonight, wasn't it? Do you know what I want to do, right? I'm going to break my own rules. I'll shuffle before I break the own rules, but I want to read the twin flame deck, the twin flame card in this deck, because that, I know that me reading this card once years ago on Instagram was actually a catalyst for somebody. I've just pulled None of This Matters, Zoom Out, Common Ground. Again, I think that's about none of the things that you think matter, that are such a big deal in your twin flame journey, like how different you are gonna matter further down the line. You're going to see that it was all amounting to such a bigger thing. Oh God, honestly, I know I'm losing it when I'm like, can't be arsed talking. But like, if that card comes out, that'll be mind blowing. But I'm going to go in and get it, even if I don't pull it. But it's basically a card about twin flames. And I know that when I read that on an Instagram live, it led to that session I talk about all the time, which generally is just one where it changed the woman's life. She was about to ruin her life. I'll just put it that. She was about to ruin her life and turn away from her twin flame. And because she trusted her intuition and she booked the session, it helped her find the clarity that she needed. And she's now got a beautiful union, married to her twin flame, and got a family, I believe. So reclaim your energy. Yeah, that's what I helped her do that day, because that's what I help people do, and stepping through. So this is going to be meaningful, but I'm going to go and, so reclaim your energy is self-explanatory. That's about soul retrieval, and everything I do is about soul retrieval. I did think, guys, you've let me down a little bit there, because it's not me that does it. Like I said, today in particular, it's the Lemurians and the Palladians that are helping me channel this. And along with, like, you're channeling divine in that, people's guides, but I've just opened the book at that card. So how fucking weird is that? That's really freaked me out. Harmonic flight, and it's 29. And what day is the full moon in Aries on? That's right, the 29th, the harvest full moon. So that's an amazing synchronicity. As a big, big sign for some of the unions, that some people are coming into union, either it could be before the 29th of the full moon, but I feel there's going to be a lot of twin flame unions coming about around, I've been saying this for months now, but around the 29th, the harvest full moon, the full moon in Aries, and the full moon at the end of October as well, and the new moon in Libra, because that's about partnership, is on the 14th of October. But that's a huge sign. So let's read this, and then I'm definitely going. But thanks for sharing, everyone that shared tonight. And right. Seeing the divine in the eyes of another, relationships with deep bonds, karmic connection, clearing illusionary projections, life-changing connection, transmuting dissonance, removing heart armor. Oh my God, being seen, in inverted commas, like truly seen. And that's what I would say, that's in line with what I said earlier about, I amn't fucking playing that game of that I played for many years with my twin flame, about pretending that we both didn't fancy each other as much as we did. It's fucking exhausting. So you fucking run if I see you in the street, because no, don't worry, I'll run before, if that ever happens, I fucking run before he does. So it's but So if he comes, basically, I think we know what that means. Don't come to me until you're ready to, let's just be honest and get the awkwardness out of the way. Right, okay, so this powerful image, just as I've said before in the past, but again, Mawan knows that. Don't come to me if there's anything else going on with somebody else. Like, but Mawan knows. I know that he knows that. So this powerful image represents the divine we see when we look deeply into the eyes of another and our armor drops. That is very connected to the 50 Shades of Grey chat, right? Because there's a bit in it where he's like, these are my boundaries, and he draws, he gets hurt. It's really moving. That's what I mean. It's that like, I'm more about the, don't get me wrong, the other stuff is hot too, but it's like, you know, it's some of it, I must stress, not the first one. I can't have, the second and the third are pretty tame. I mean, it depends what you think, but it's like, it's the first one, it's the end of the first one I do like the more. But you know, there's a bit that's really beautiful and it's really intimate because he's like kind of shaking and he's not crying, but he's shaking, and she draws round his heart with a lipstick and he's like, you know, this is off limits. But then she breaks down his walls, she breaks down his armor. So, and that's what true twin flames do. You know what I mean? You shouldn't need to protect the little boy. See where I was going with that? Men don't need to protect the vulnerable little boy from their twin flame, and women don't need to protect their vulnerable little girl. And hold on, same-sex couples, because I did keep saying 50 Shades of Gay, which is hilarious. Same, you know, just the same. Don't hide your little girls from each other. Don't hide your little boys from each other. Don't fucking whatever. You know what I'm saying? I read something once about discussing what your partner needs and wants now that they didn't get as a child and provide that for each other. Absolutely, Tina. Like, you know, again, that's what I want. Do you know what I mean? Like, whoever my twin flame is, you know, the nameless one out there. Because I think then it'll lessen on here. Do you know what I mean? Like, maybe not, but no, it will. Because again, it's like, I just feel things will change. It's like, I don't know how they'll change, and I'm just open to how they'll change. But it's like, it's like I'm comfortable with how vulnerable I'm on here because it helps other people, and I really do actually feel it helps me too, because sometimes I watch this back, and again, especially the shit I've been talking about, like you said, the sex siren or whatever, not siren, because that's siren's connected with like dodgy shit to do with sex, but whatever, I did say, you know what I mean, in that kind of way of that part of me that's comfortable talking about that, I feel really only sort of comes out on a Scorpio kind of energies. And so you know what, my one will be watching the fucking astrology to see when it come to me. But it's kind of like, do you know what I'm saying? It's like that. That's a funny joke. But it's kind of like, but seriously, it's because the reason, no, actually, it's always a part of me. My Mars, my sex sign is in Scorpio at the highest degrees. So it's time's up. But what I'm saying is, I'm just starting now because anyway, it's like, when I watch this back, I'll be like, I can't believe I talk like that's empowering, because I'm talking about sex, but I'm talking about sex in a healthy way because it's sacred, because I'm really serious about it. That's why I don't just fucking, you know, give it up to anyone, and you shouldn't. It doesn't mean I've not like had drunken fucking stupid shit in the past with people. Of course, we all fucking, maybe not all of us, but we all fucking have it at some point, right? But it's all part of the learning and the growth. And when you actually see, you know, like I've said that before, when I actually understood fully, which I always did, I just was pretending myself I didn't, when I understood how fucking horrible that is to keep swapping all these different, and I'm not talking about literally, that's disgusting, but I mean, like, you can pick up fucking demons from folk in that. Do you know what I mean? Like, fuck knows what people are getting involved with. So anyway, this is a bit too deep, but you know what I'm saying. That's how you feel when you really get to I would say, nearing the end of your twin flame journey. You should be ready to know that it's safe to show those vulnerable parts of yourself to your twin flame. And really, until you're ready to do that, it won't happen. So, right. So this powerful image represents the divine we see when we look deeply into the eyes of another and our armor drops. When we meet another being present in the moment with no stories, judgments, or insecurities. I felt a little overwhelmed and intimidated when I painted this card. I wasn't quite ready. Oh, I'll need to find the card now. Wait a minute, I'll need to find the card. I want to meet this woman, there it is. harmonic flight. So look, right, and this is so in line with the Lemurian, obviously it's a Lemurian cards, but this is so in line with what I'm feeling. It's like you are both stepping in whoever resonates with your higher selves, and you're seeing each other as these beings of light, like look at that. So whether you want to use examples of films or any film that you resonate with, like 50 Shades of Grey or anything like that, about just the romance bit, it's intense, you know what I mean? Like whenever you see the scenes in that film where they are like, that's really only why it gets, the spicier stuff gets going throughout the films, is because they love and trust each other. I mean, they get married to each other, but it doesn't fucking water down the sex or the looks at it. And that's true twin flames as well. So, right. So anyway, then some months later, I experienced it when I was looking into the eyes of my beloved. Shortly after, I encountered the divine in the eyes of a stranger when space was held for this surrendered openness. And by the way, I was talking about this with someone recently. If you've ever had that where I would advise you do this with your twin flame. This is part of Tantra as well. But do that. I could tell you this part. I'd done this at a shamanic group once with an older man. I'm talking like a much older man. So think about how awkward that is, because I'm quite shy. But like, but it's weird because like after you get over the awkwardness and the wanting to giggle, you start melting into one another. Now, obviously, that's weird when it's a stranger, but you see the soul, and that's what it's about. But move away from it being a fucking stranger, because I mean, but who was it that said it to me? I think it was my best pal, actually. It was was it her? Maybe it wasn't. It was, I don't know who it was. I think it was one of my friends, or it was one of my clients that I must be really close with. But somebody anyway recently said that to me. I think it was her. Yeah, it was. That they do that on Married at First Sight, where they must do that test, and like I said, it's to do with Tantra, that you stare in, they're strangers and they stare into each other's eyes, and they all sort of report back that it was the most intense 5 minutes of their life doing that. So be careful who you do that with. But if you ever have had that sort of eye gazing moment with someone that you're it's really intimate. But in tantric practice, again, it's about the discipline in that too. Like, you should try doing it fully clothed, or at least with something on. And like, but I'm just laughing because I'm thinking about how awkward that would be. But it's like, but not even that. It's like, Christ, doing that with your twin flame, it's like, it really would be like mission impossible, I think, for you to, I don't know. But yeah, let me know how that goes, guys. Do you know what I mean? If you try that, if you're at that bit. But yeah, it's about intimacy. Do you know what I mean? Right. So when we see the person standing before us as the gods and goddesses that you are, when you're at truly the end of the twin flame journey, you should be looking at each other like that. And if you're not, you need to do more work. It's a reminder that we are what we perceive in others. But also, when we drop into the mindless space of pure essence, we might see the world, seeing us, seeing them, seeing the infinite eternal, allowing all that is. And that's really deep, because actually, in one of these experiences I had, the person drew me in this, like, he drew what he saw me, and it was really deep. It was like I was like sitting on top of the world, and like he said, it was like because I just channeled 24/7. It was like, and this was actually before I had a soul retrieval to ground me back into my body, I might add, actually. And so because it was before that, I feel it was about like how ungrounded I was at the time. And then that's what I think that was. And then it's like, I've done all this work to bring me back into my body. If you're interested in that, there's a Starseed past life regression session that I do, some of yous have had, and it just helps you, bring you back into your body where you might be a bit too out there. Many people are seeking their twin flame. Who would those people be? Oh, that's right, they're here. And many people aren't just seeking them, they fucking know exactly who they are, and they're running from them. Do you know what I mean? Last part of the journey. As life-changing, world-rocking and unfathomably beautiful finding this soul can be, it is quite possibly one of the most intensely confronting, trigger-provoking, and sometimes painful connections we can have. That woman knows her shit, let me tell you. I'm sure there's something in this that I'm not going to agree with, but that is right. Those who are most dear to us can bring us to our greatest growth. That is why spending extended periods with our family can be challenging. That stuff has already came up today with ancestral stuff. When we can see and we can be seen, disarmored and trusting, we can come to deeper love. However, this deepening process can trigger the release of outdated and unhealthy patterns. Thus, shadows can be brought to the surface to heal. Again, it's Scorpio moon, which is probably why they said go read that card. When we feel safe in the arms of our beloved, our defenses yield, so we fall further into our hearts. It's about letting yourself fall into that deep love, and you've got to be ready to do that. Like, just stop feeling like you have to protect yourself from falling deeper in love. Like, what was that I saw earlier in the space between doing my live and coming to do this? I'm sure I saw a title on a video about like, this masculine is terrified of spending any time with you because they know they're going to fall even deeper in love. And what I would say is don't be. Divine masculines out there, regardless of your gender, don't be. Like, let yourself fall. Because if you've gotten to that bit, you're meant to fall deeper in love. As long as it truly is your twin flame, is what I would say. However, fear-based reflections and projections can surface in the place of deep vulnerability. Subconscious behaviours, including childhood patterning, can also present themselves. And again, this is one of the, I'm a hypnotherapist as well. So remember, I'm an advanced hypnotherapist, so I can help you with those. So again, this is what I mean. I've not got an answer to everything, but I actually have, because I can channel it. So it's not me, I'll just channel it. But it's like, do you know what I'm saying? It's probably just, things that I've helped people in the past, but it's, don't let these limiting beliefs stand in your way of being happy. Like, people use that as an excuse too much, go and get therapy or go and get hypnosis. And if, hypnosis doesn't work for everyone as strongly as it does for others, but be patient, because sometimes, like, I've had hypnotherapy with things and you think it hasn't worked as well, and actually give it time and it works even better than you could ever have imagined. And usually when I do hypnosis with people, it works fast as fuck because I'm blending everything that I do with it. Right, so it can seem as if our partner is provoking difficulties, bringing things up and making it feel like our whole world is about to fall apart. This is why some people get confused and you think your twin flame is the cause of all this pain, and they're not. They're just reflecting back the things you need to heal. At this point, we may want to retreat, but if we can be truly present, our fears can fall away and this becomes an expansive experience. Again, so you'll only step into that expansive experience when you're ready, and fully embrace it 100%, I would say. When we have a profound twin flame connection that feels beyond worlds and lifetimes, we bond with the other person so strongly that we choose to face the fire when we'd usually walk away. Our passion drives us to seek resolution, to heal ourselves, to overcome barriers, to overcome how confronting it may seem, because our partnership is worth it. So even when you argue with your twin flame, when you reach a point of being more healed with it, you should be able to, like, again, I've said this before, I don't know why I'm saying it again, but I know for a fact, because I know when Mawan's birthday is, that our Venus and Mars are opposite. So that's like, it's like, that's a challenge in itself, because it's like Mars is action and anger and assertiveness, and Venus is love and what you value. And if it's in the two opposite signs, like mine's and his, it's, I'm going to think I'm right and he's going to think he's right, and I'm going to, it's, but you've got to meet in the middle and compromise. So 401 and my battery is 14%. Loving the fours and the ones there, Tina. The 144. And again, we're talking about the twin flames. So it's, again, we're always talking about twin flames, but that's particularly significant right now. So again, this is why it's helpful to know your astrology and to know your twins' astrology. Again, some of you will be driving yourself demented because you don't know what time they were born, and that should be the first question you ask them. And then you come to me and book a session, or look it up yourself if you understand it. But even if you understand astrology, it's not just astrology I do, it's very galactic astrology that I channel, Mayan stuff. It just comes from the ethers. Again, this is why people have asked me to teach. I don't know how to fucking teach what I do, seriously, other than just picking it up from watching me, which a lot of people do. It's It's even other astrologers have said that to me. I just need to own it, what I do. Like, it's different. And that ties in with what I said earlier too. It's cool to be different, unique, and you'll attract a lot of jealousy for it, but fucking own it, because I certainly do now. I didn't always, but I do now. Where did I get to here? Our passion drives us to seek resolution, to heal ourselves. I just read that bit. Yeah. And when we can rise, we rise together. Somehow, incredibly, the universe seamlessly aligns the places the twin flames need healing. Their triggers may be synchronized so that when they feel uncentered or there's codependence or imbalance, it can be a very volatile space, which is why I've already said, so I'll say it again, that I can recognize that when I felt like I was really ready for union last year, I absolutely fucking wasn't. Because I was still had a lot of codependency around being with him and everything just being dependent on being with him. and he was definitely not in that space. I could definitely suss that much. But you know what I mean? Now I feel in a completely healthy space with that, and I just feel very at peace and surrendered. But again, you still just have to keep surrendering. Because he might, you know, he could still be, well, he'll still be healing stuff and whatever, but anyway, you won't know when that happens anyway, because I won't tell anyone, but so if they find, but hypothetically, if I was to have come into contact with mine while I was still healing that, it would be pretty volatile or explosive. Do you know what I'm saying? Because we'd both be healing something. So that'll speak to a lot of you out there. If they find safety in love and they're willing to see and be seen, their triggers can blossom into a deep, transformative healing for both of them. And you might even be someone like me, like I really quite enjoy it. Like, you know what I mean? It's like whenever I've argued with anyone in my life or just not seen eye to eye, you know, as long as it's not one of the karmic fuckers that are, you know, gaslighting and manipulating and all that kind of shit. Like, you know, it's I like to find a resolution, you know what I mean? Like to kind of find some kind of meaning behind it. It's like even earlier, like that's not a very good example because it wasn't that deep. But you know, earlier, like when I'd said, right, can nobody talk right now? And then it seemed like it was an illusion that people were still talking when I'd asked them not to. Because I'm not like high fucking Hitler around here. I never usually say that. I just let people chat away. But it's like sometimes occasionally when I'm tuning in at something quite deep, it's good for me to just not have the distraction. And then I just like everyone sort of say now. Imagine if I was like, everybody talk, nobody talk, everybody talk, but it's, do you mean, but again, it wasn't that. It's that there's a massive fucking huge delay. And so, you know, but because I'm empowered in that way and I listen to my gut and I tune into my intuition, you could see I was like, wait a minute, something's not adding up here. You know, and it's like, you know, but other people that aren't as patient as me, because I've got 6 retrograde and haven't done the work on themselves, could have been like, what the fuck are you doing? Do you know what I mean? And I did kind of, I'll see it when I watch back, but from a minute, you know what I mean? I was kind of like, what's going on here? And then I was like, wait a minute, you know, because I would never, I wouldn't say I would never get angry, because I will get angry on here when we start to attract trolls and people that are being just fucking nippy fucks. But we've got enough spanner people, or, you know, you don't need to fucking, you know, Brianna could be brutal with that sometimes. If she fucking sees you giving me shit, she'll kick you out of here. Do you know what I mean? She's protective. And I'm a mama wolf too. So do you know what I mean? It's like you'll see that if anyone is new, I have got fierce boundaries around here. But I'll tune in because I've got to be, because you just don't know who the fuck's, you know, kind of, but anyway. Right, so this healing can forge the foundations for long-term companionship. And again, you know, some of you might also know that, oh, so that wasn't that delayed. Yes, haha, yes, I am. Yeah, love it. And I love you. And I'm deeply fucking protective of you as well. I am of all of you. And that's weird because even a lot of you are older than me, like 15, 20 years older than me. But again, half the clients that I work with deeply are like, you know, a lot older than me. So I'm an old soul. You know, there's a lot of key pointers in astrology for a long-lasting relationship. Too many to mention really, but I see it with twin flames. The twin flames charts that I have seen together or can feel into, I see it. So I love that stuff. So right, alternatively, this completion could mark an ending, and what keeps coming through is endings and beginnings. Scorpio is the death card, endings, and it's Scorpio moon. as the intense potency of a connection neutralizes, the relationship may transform into a different kind of unconditional love. And so, because we've been channeling so much about 50 Shades of Grey, which I'm not going to lie, I fucking loved it. And there would have been no other moon to do it than a Scorpio moon. But also, it's like, I have to use my example again, because I'm sick of using the 50 Shades of Grey one. My twin flame connection was purely based on sex. I'm not going to lie to you, I've never lied on here. It was just all about sex. so I feel there is a distortion around that, or there has been. I mean, might be some, you know, basically at some point along the line there's been a huge distortion between, for me, I can feel stuff going on at my crown chakra and everything when I'm saying this, but like, because we met in that way, although I did say, we, you know, when we first met, we just innocently, we would just meet in the club like sexy strangers and kiss for ages. We didn't actually go home each other. Like, do you know what I mean? We didn't, I think that for us was about a year or something. And then the passion took over. He knows what that means, and I know what that means. But I'm sure you all know what that means. But it's just seriously, it's the passion took over that night, and it was really very strong, like quite crazy strong, to the point where don't worry, twin flame, if he's what you'll start really wondering what I'm going to say here. What I'm going to say about that is it was so strong, it was weird, and it was intense, and it freaked the two of us out for several months. Like, we didn't sleep with each other again for several months because it was just like, what the fuck happened? Do you know what I mean? Like, it was like, what the fuck happened? That's basically the gist of it. And then we built a bridge and got over it, and yeah, continued to sleep with each other for years. And like, but it was just basically, what I'm trying to say is it was just all based around sex, and we hid our true selves from. I wouldn't really say a lot of the time I did hide big parts of myself, right? But both of us hid parts of ourselves that, you know, there was bits of our lives that were a complete mystery to one another. I've said that before, that like my twin flame knew nothing about the boyfriend that I'd had before and everything like that. Well, he fucking does now, doesn't he? But it's like what everyone does. but there's shit. There's loads of shit I don't know about mine. Fucking loads of shit, man. And I don't fucking want to know half it either. But like, because we weren't a couple, right? So this is the whole thing. So it was a bit fucked up in that way. It wasn't fucked up, and it is. Depends which way you look at it. It was just the way it was at the time. But that's where there can be a difficulty with some twin flame connections like that it can be distorted within. You can just distort it yourself, that, oh, that's just sex, and it's not somebody you settle down with or have a serious relationship with. Because even I done that about him at some points in the journey too. But I now see that I was just telling myself that because it would be too good to be true to believe that he would want to be with me like that too. So it was to protect myself. Do you know what I'm saying? And so it means that whoever my twin flame is would do exactly the same thing as what I'd done at that age, and then he would admit it. So it's always kind of fucked up. Anyway, we hear his side of the story one day. Maybe not, he's private. But it's like, yeah. So whenever I'm in union with my twin flame, it would change in the way of, it would still be all about sex. I'm not even going to lie, but it fucking better be. I've got Mars and Scorpio, but it's kind of like a different kind of. It wouldn't just be about that. Like, you know, it would be about the having, you know, getting to know the other parts. Obviously, you know, the other parts. I'm just using anyway. Let's move away from example. You would get to know the other parts of your lives, the parts that you hid, and enjoy the whole spectrum. You know what I mean? Mac Ventura is available and will be installed later tonight. Why? Okay, but I said tomorrow, so why is it happening tonight? I'm telling you, this is something's happening later tonight for someone watching this, because you were all live when I said tomorrow, and something's popping up and saying tonight. Do you know what I mean? Somebody tell me if something happens. When this happens to someone. That's really weird. Codependency themes are recently coming up for me as well. Learning it is groomed into someone. Yeah, it is, Tina. It's rife. Like I said that about the older generation too. It's like you know, I've had conversations with this like this with my mum and dad. I'm always very open about stuff like this, you mean? And it's kind of like you got to pick your times, but it's like it's ingrained in families, it's ingrained in schools, and you can undo it. You know, it's but I recognize that everywhere in my life in the past and you know and present where you know I've managed to successfully untangle myself from the worst of where that what like thank God, and it was basically it was with like, near enough all of the friendships I had that I haven't got now, and with other people it'd be love and you know so and but yeah, some people are healing what I was healing even some of what I was healing last year, they're healing it now. So this is what I'm helping a lot of people with. But like I said, with things like friendships and that, I untangled myself from that several years ago, and it was the best thing I ever done. And like I said, there's no blame and shit. Well, there's things that definitely I was treated really badly in situations, but it's kind of like it's just a big tangled mess, and that's what trauma bonds are, and that's what codependency is. And really, it's just when you basically the point is when you heal from that, you take back your power. You're not going to be able to be around people that aren't doing the work there. So you send them love and you move on. And if they then choose to do the work around that, you might come back around to the same friendships, but it really just depends on unique cases. I can't see that I would ever go back to any of the friendships that I've let go of. It just I just can't see it. Right, so harmonic flight shows us that when we harmonize our energies with that of another in any form of relationship, we can soar to the sky, which is why I always use the analogy of Sandy and Danny flying off at the end of Greece. It's like Ascension. We can guide each other higher and higher by encouraging all that has been weighing us down to drop away. And look at what I just said. You just allow what you couldn't see as toxic before to drop away. So don't attach that to being about a person or a situation. It's just the dynamic you had going on there. And that could even be between you and your twin flame. Maybe you and your twin flame had some kind of unhealthy, toxic dynamic power imbalance. Let that drop away too and create something new that's healthy. Right, okay, so that's really deep and I like it. I'm going to end it now because I need to go because I'll just keep chatting. What you see in the eyes of another is a reflection of yourself. This card may be encouraging you to look at the bigger picture of a close relationship. A perceived challenge may be an illusion or a projection. I think I've given loads of amazing examples of my own journey, again, like I said, which could really delay or stop it altogether. It's not going to stop it altogether, but you know what I'm saying? It could piss them off. But I've got to trust and my twin flame's going to understand because it's helping him too. This card may relate to family, teamwork, community, and ways that you can harmonize dissonance for deeper growth. The bonds you share give you the power to transmute your fears. Oh my God, and I've just thought about the title. I don't know how you done it, but you brought me back from the dead. And P.S. I love you. Yeah, so that was amazing. Put time and awareness into resolving karmic connections or they will continue to play out. So remember, that can be any kind of karmic crap going on between you and your twin flame, because that's absolutely a thing with true twin flames. Don't believe the people out there that, talk about twin flame relationships being all fucking sweetness and light and there's no darkness that's went down. That's just people that aren't willing to reveal all, like me on here. Do you know what I mean? And again, sorry, that sounded a bit bitchy and catty and sassy, but I suppose it is what it is. That's my shadow showing it what it is. Because I'm not saying by any means that I'm the only person that knows anything about twin flames and I'm the only one telling the truth. But there's a lot of folk lying out there and creating the illusion that they know what they're talking about. And so there's some well-meaning people as well. You just got to be careful. You got to be discerning and just take what resonates you and leave the rest. That's why everybody says that. But you know what I mean? It's because I sometimes wonder about when there's definitely some tarot channels that focus far. And I'm not hoping in anyone specifically, because again, I don't even tend to watch a whole video these days. I just catch titles. But it's fucking, and it's going to be actually they're getting me to say this for a reason. I'll kind of transmute it by talking about something more positive, but it is Scorpio moon. I think a lot of these are going to be brought to light, some of this darkness, because it's like there's so much karma, like there is witchcraft, there is spiritual warfare, there is bullying, there is karmic dark stuff that goes on, right? But but there's also possibilities for the same karmic people to heal and correct the errors of their ways, even if that is just apologizing and then accepting your boundaries, that I'll accept your apology, but I don't want you in my life, which is what I'm saying. Like, seriously, like, I mean, that is how I would feel about some people that have wronged me in my life. Like, apart from a twin flame, but it's kind of like, because that is my energy, you mean, but it's kind of like, because I actually done that with my karmic partner. I've said that before. Like, I don't know if he says sorry, mind you, but yeah, I don't know if he actually did say so. No, he didn't say sorry. He just said to me that he wasn't that bad a guy, and I was like, I beg to differ. But do you know what I mean? It was anyway, so it was probably his written. You know what I'm saying? It was kind of like, I made peace with the situation. Now fucking leave me alone. But yeah, what I'm basically saying is just be this week alone, the darkness, the battle of the dark and the light. So I bet you anyway, the fact that I've kept ignoring the alarm, it tells me that I'm going to come off here, and I can't believe that it's 10:20. Are you fucking shitting me? Wow. There must be, I did say that earlier, if I sit on here for ages, it's because this is a really important week, and there'll be a lot of false twin flame shit out there that are putting out a lot of that. I've seen, so I can't tell you how many titles I've seen with the most horrific titles. I'm not even going to say one that I saw earlier. I was like, it made me laugh. It made me laugh because it wasn't even relevant to me. Like, I know for a fact it wasn't, because it was about, it was just completely overstepping the mark, put it that way. And it was just fucking, I was like, I don't even know how that would work. It would have to be somebody that was a lot older than me that had, like, oh God, maybe I should say it. I mean, but I think it was just like, right, now it's taking it too far, man. But it was like, it would have to be somebody that was a lot older that had an adult child. And then it was it was something like your twin flame suit. It was just too much. It was too much. And I was like, time to come off social media when you start, but that's happening for a reason. It's like these really dark things are coming up because it's an illusion. It's to see whether you're going to allow that fear to kick in to stop you from getting what it is you want, whether that's divine masculines get in touch with divine feminines. Because again, I don't need to have seen it today to know it. I know for a fact there'll be lots of readings and that there that will be saying things like, this person's in regret, crying into their pillow, and like, you've moved on, fuck them. It's not exactly that title, but that kind of vibe. And that's just not true twin flames, or it's a really unhealed divine feminine operating in very toxic distort. It's a karmic feminine, really, that is posing as a divine feminine, because you want your true twin flame to come towards you, and you don't want to, again, that would be like what I described about 50 Shades of Grey. You're not going to play any toxic mind games with them, even if they'd done that with you, because that was coming from an unhealed place. And divine feminines at that thing, you should have healed all that bullshit. It doesn't mean that you might not have partook in it before, but you shouldn't be healing, you shouldn't be doing it now. Anyway, sorry, I'm getting like, this is my Saturn and Scorpio talking. Where's the moon? Because that's really my Saturn and Scorpio. Anyway, so just be careful what you're consuming, and there's some beautiful, beautiful, amazing people that are going to be able to help you with this stuff, but there's some people that are going to put the fucking fear of God in you, whether you're divine feminine or divine masculine. Right, so look at that. I think this is what we've done tonight. This card may relate to family, teamwork, community, and ways you can harmonize dissonance for deeper growth. So do you know what I mean? Like, it's all about the growth with shamanic healing and Scorpio energy, which I'm very Platonic, very of Scorpio rising conjunct Pluto, is about, but Scorpio moon right now is why I'm saying that. It's about and that's shamanic as well as Scorpio energy. It's all about the growth, you know what I mean? So we can learn from the darker situations. The bonds you share give you the power to transmute your fears. Put time and awareness into resolving karmic connections, or they will continue to play out. So they'll continue to play out your karmics for obvious reason, because it's karmic. You can keep repeating the toxic cycle of going back to someone that's treating you like shit, and they'll keep treating you like shit, and you'll think, oh, they're going to change, but no, they'll keep treating you like shit. And that's what I think a lot of the other tarot readers Some of them, obviously not all of them. Some are actually reading karmic situations, and it's really toxic. It's not the twin flame journey that they're reading. But this is what is so confusing is they don't know that themselves. So it's like a fucking minefield out there. Right, so there may also be life-changing connection on there may also be a life-changing connection on the horizon, and I would say that is with your true twin flame. And oh God, look what's on the bottom there too. Balanced forces, which is what twin flames are about, and we're approaching Libra season. So yeah, and like I said, so I'm calling it that there's some twin flame unions going down around the end of the month there. The next couple of full moons, basically, right? So I'm going to go. So sending you lots of love and thank you. Please like the video because it really helps, especially when the algorithm likes to silence me because I'm a true twin flame and I'm speaking the truth. I've said true and truth too much there, but and yeah, if you know any other twin flames that you might feel like this, you know, like and bloody blah, all that shit, book a session if you need some personal support, whether it's been a long time and you haven't had a session in a while and it might be a good time to be getting some help because there's loads of people that I'd imagine would be needing help that you haven't booked a session for a while. I'm contemplating on doing so whenever I do I don't like do special offers because they just nobody ever fucking takes me up on them, but maybe I ate my twin flame, and even though we're one, we really are one because I ate them. Yeah, no, that was a bit of a random note to leave it on. Wait a minute, I feel like I want to. It doesn't feel like it's time to go. Oh, yes, yeah, so I started saying that because seriously, I'm going to come off of here, and it happens every time. I'm just not, I just obviously, because that's where, you got to be classy about it. You don't be shady. But every time I come off here, I see that there's people that have been going live for, the same amount of time. And some are like the true divine feminines and they're doing the same work that I'm doing. And some are not, put it that way. And it's like, that's why they get me to stay on, because it's like eventually the right people will be getting led to here and I'll be undoing the witchcraft that they've been doing on you. So sorry, I know it's really dark and it's not a very nice message, but it's true. Some of you are getting your minds are getting warped by bullshit. Right, so before we entered the world, yeah, you ate them, maybe. No, there's somebody special out there for you, and don't give up on it. Don't give up on him. Don't give up on that, because this is really interesting. I actually said that was it today? I said that to someone. I know you are, but it's funny. But it's funny. You ate them. You must have. Do you know what I mean? Wait a minute, I need to go because this is getting all kinds of wrong again. I said that to somebody recently, another twin flame, that it's like you're just too special. Do you know what I mean? It's like actually, it's kind of like what I've been channeling about today. It's like I know that that's what's happened to me. Like, toxic men, it's bad boys is what I always attract. It's like, or in the past I've always attracted. It's like that kind of persona. They were only allowed to get so close, and then the divine would cut it off because they're like, nah, you're not going to treat her right. Like, get the fuck, man. You might get as lucky as a one night fit, but some of them didn't even get that far, and this is like years ago. But the right one will be able to get all the way to the door. Do you know what I mean? Literally, the right one will be able to get all the way to my door, and if they're lucky, I'll let them in. That's really funny. Right, so what do we want to say on that note? So yes, that's why I was saying that. So there was another twin flame recently that I'd said that to, because they were, it was that kind of thing about just confusion around why are they attracting these kind of situations. Well, not confusion, just stories about similarly attracting situations like that. And I sometimes could see with other really beautiful divine feminines that it's like, you're not doing it wrong. There's a message in that. Like, you're not meant to be on the path that other people are, and you're special. And wait for the one that truly deserves you. Oh, that's really deep, right? So, but it's true. And I feel that about you, Brianna, because you're a very good looking woman. And there's lots of men and women that'll want to get close to you. but they don't deserve you. So I feel like I don't know who I am anymore. I'm feeling lost and I don't know what to do about it. Right, I'm going to go because this is going to make me cry. That's what we're talking about. When we're getting near that, oh, there's the Mac thing again. Mac is available and will be installed later tonight. I swear to God, that is going to be a synchronicity for people out there. It just is. Honey says hi, by the way. Oh, hello, honey. Oh, that's cute. That's her wee girl. So she's a little old soul. Yeah, so this is the energy of because we're getting into the later degrees of the Scorpio moon there, like this is just an indication that like people could be in a lot of pain right now. And they're feeling lost, but it's not just feeling lost with the twin flame thing, it's lost because of the spiritual awakening. And because a lot of divine masculines feel so lost and they don't know what to do about it, well, first of all, if you're somebody watching this and you're divine masculine, please, if whether it's me or anybody that is truly on the twin flame path that you're guided to for support, whether it's online or offline, go and get support. Oh, they have faith pillows falling down. We can't have that. Get support. If it's me this week, I'm really probably only going to be available tomorrow is what I've worked out. Tomorrow, possibly Thursday, if it's like my lunchtime, but and maybe Friday, but I kind of think tomorrow's the best bet because this is an intense week. So I often sometimes don't work the equinox, and I bet you watch this. Either I won't, nobody will book, or if somebody inquires, it won't follow through. Like, because again, the equinox weeks is, and that'll be them protecting my energy from it's like it's not the right time. But I'm just saying, I'm holding space for guys. There's some weird but cool thing. My watch is buzzing target reached. Can you see that? Oh, it's went away now because I clicked it. But it's literally, it was buzzing target reached. Did it? Yeah. Target reached. That is either about, I don't know how the fucking hell, I think this thing's lying. How the fuck have I walked over 10,000 steps today? That's amazing. Because I went a walk, but I didn't even walk for as long as what I usually do. I must have been walking about my house a lot to have reached that. But that is about the target reached is either this is predicting a twin flame union for at least one couple on here, or I think it's a few though. Or it's about someone's reached their target of feeling like they've done enough healing to be empowered enough to go to have that conversation with their twin, or even just to reach out. It doesn't need to be all in the fucking one night, but I feel there's something about like someone's feeling so lost that they're following their heart to come to you. Because the grass wasn't greener on the other side. I didn't even shuffle. The grass wasn't greener on the other side. So see how as a divine feminine, you could be like, oh, well, I fucking told you so. But I don't know if you did tell them so or whatever, whatever. But it's like, you could go that route, but that would be the wrong way to go about it. Nobody ever likes somebody that says, I told you so. It's about having compassion that if you're a true twin flame, you get involved with karmic partners for a reason. You learn lessons. Where if you're divine feminine, you learn the lesson about, well, they're choosing somebody else right now, so choose yourself. Like they've got lessons to learn. And it's like, it's been said to me before in my journey, and I channel it to people that, you'd sooner that your twin flame gets involved with other people to realize that is not what they want. And whether it's through dark situations, it usually is, but not always, but or just it could be dark situations or just boring situations or a mixture of all of it, to then come back full circle to be like, I know who I want, and it's actually who I've known who I wanted all along, but now I need to do the healing to have the strength to be that person that I want to be with that person. Do you know what I mean? All that kind of shit. And have compassion and just put it behind you and move on. You know what I mean? What else? A lot of the other fucking folk on this journey won't be. There's some, but not everyone would say it like that. So careful who you tune into. I'm facing my darkness right now. So do you see what I mean? That is what people do in a Scorpio moon. And again, I'm particularly feeling this is coming through really strong again. I'm particularly feeling I want to really hit that home again about if you have a strong, overwhelming feeling to reach out to your twin flame. And this would only be confirmation. So don't do it just because I said it and you're terrified. Again, if you're that scared, you wouldn't do it anyway. But If you need just that, remember there's been a card that's come up today twice that has said needing a little push to get going. That's the person that I am, right? I gently have so much patience with people, but if I feel you're on the edge, I'm going to fucking push you, right? Because I've had folk that have done that for me. I'm going to do it for you. And it's like, do it, because like I've said, I feel there's a lot of feminines at the bit that I've been at some parts on my journey, whether it would be just giving some sort of indication to your twin flame that you haven't forgot about them. So it doesn't even need to be some big intense, like, I love you, I still want you, or it could just be a happy birthday, or I don't know, Merry Christmas, or fucking Happy New Year, anything. Or if there's no kind of fucking things like that around, then hi, I don't know what your situation is, right? But do something if this is for you, because somebody really needs it. Because they're showing me my client again, like when she, remember, they are talking to each other, they are in pretty much union, but they don't live with each other yet. They're going to be. And but he's, you know, she just felt she needed to reach out, and it was good because then when she put her hand out, then he pulled her in, and that's how it works. So, but you got to be careful with that, because some people are going, like, I pulled the Hermit for masculine energy, and some people are wanting to be alone to heal themselves. But sometimes some masculines have done that, and they could just be leaving themselves alone because that is like coming from childhood wounds, childhood wounding, childhood trauma, or just coping mechanisms, which we all have to some extent, of I could do it myself, you know what I mean? And that's when trust that too. So it's two different messages, very important to tune into what's for you. And especially if you are a divine feminine that's actually already done that in the past, I'd advise you not to reach out, because if you've already made that brave move at some point on your journey, it is important that you allow your twin the space to do that, because I will come back to you when I'm ready. So tune into what's for you. I'm very insecure and confused at the moment, and I'm sorry I betrayed your trust. Yeah, so it's different messages for different people. But this is a lot of pain I'm picking up on now. And you're so beautiful, but you're very intimidating. There's that again. Your beauty intimidates them, but it does. You know what I mean? It's like, even if you're not everybody's idea of what beauty is, because let's face it, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. It's about a soul thing. Like, your light is like so healing for your twin flame. What if you don't accept me for who I really am? No one makes me feel the way you do. And I'm making a plan to come back to you. Yeah. So again, so that's why you got to tune in. Are you feeling like you need to reach out to them to give them an indication that you still like them, because they might think that you don't? Or do you need to leave the ones that know what they're doing to do their thing, because you know that you mean the world to you mean the world to me, and everything I do it for our future. You know, some of them are up to shit like that. Some of them are not quite there, but they're wondering, will you ever forgive me? Okay, I'm ending it now because I'm like, it's got to start somewhere. It's like, this is like the twin flame journey. Learning to work with fear is so huge on this journey. Absolutely. And that's why, again, that is my whole journey in a nutshell. With having my son in the house of procrastination and perfectionism, I had to get over massive fears to do. I had to get over huge, massive fears to do what I'm doing right now. But thank God I managed to push through that shit, because I love it. I love it now, and that's why I sit here and I can't get off. But anyway, I'm going to go now. So, oh, look at that! And then look, they made me my hand just pulled one. I have always loved you, and I always will. So I particularly feel I'm getting a download about, like, this is really going to speak to people where it was possibly even like, I know the card doesn't say that, but I'm feeling like there's something like about it was love at first sight. Yeah, something about that. So anyway, I'm going to go now. So please like, comment, subscribe, and I will. Oh well, shit! I'll see you tomorrow. So like I said, it was only it's a Tuesday night, so it's different. But I'm going to be live from 1 o'clock roughly UK time. So tomorrow's Wednesday, tomorrow and Thursday, and Friday I'll just go with the flow. So, and like I said, I'm going to try and keep it up for the next few weeks at least. I normally go into hermit mode at some point, yeah, probably about a month from now, but go with the flow. Right, see you later. But just be kind to yourself, because like I said, Scorpio moon can be really rough on people. And the people that are feeling the call to reach out, whether you're divine feminine or divine masculine, do it. It's not that scary. I've done it in the past. It is fucking terrifying. I'm not going to lie to you, but I've never, ever regretted it. And you never know what that might lead to. See you later.